Women's Division and Wales.
Now let's join the PA announcer here for the introduction of the lineups for the Montreal Canadiens and the Calgary Flames.
Doug Sotard. Number 33, Patrick Roy. Number 5, Rick Green. Number 8, David Maley. Number 11, Ryan Walter. Number 15, Bobby Smith. Number 17, Craig Ludwig. Number 19, Larry Robinson. Number 20, Joe Deline. Number 21, E. Carbonell. Number 23, Bob Gainey. Number 24, Chris Chelios. Number 26, Matt Snasland. Number 30, Chris Nyland. Number 31, John Cordick. Number 32, Claude Lemieux. Number 35, Mike McPhee. Number 38, Mike Lawler. Number 39, Brian Stridland. Number 44, Stefan Richer. The head coach of the Montreal Canadiens, Jean Perron. Assistant coach, Jacques Laperriere. Introducing the South Division and Campbell Conference champion, Calgary Flames. Number 30, Mike Vernon. Number 31, Reggie Lemelin. Number 2, Al McInnes. Number 4, Paul Baxter. Number 5, Neil Sheehy. Number 7, Joe Mullen. Number 8, Doug Risebrough. Number 9, Lanny McDonald. Number 10, Dan Quinn. Number 11, Colin Patterson. Number 12, Hook and Lube. Number 15, Robin Bartel. Number 19, Tim Hunter. Number 22, Nick Batiu. Number 23, Paul Reinhardt. Number 24, Jim Poplinski. Number 26, Steve Bozak. Number 27, John Tonelli. Number 29, Joel Otto. Number 34, Jamie McCown. The head coach, Bob Johnson. Assistant coaches, Bob Murdoch and Pierre Paget. Ladies and gentlemen, here with the presentation of the colors is the RCMP Color Guard from Calgary. To sing "O Canada," the Young Canadiens of the Calgary Stampede. Please join a former member of the Young Canadiens, Susan Smith, in the singing of our national anthem.
Saddle Dome. We talked about those matchups. Both teams with hot rookie goaltenders. Montreal's Patrick Roy and Calgary's Mike Vernon. Each team with outstanding veteran leadership. The Flames with a veteran, Lanny McDonald and Doug Risebrough. And Montreal's Larry Robinson and Bob Gainey. With more, our expert analyst and our play-by-play man, Sam Rosen and Mickey Redmond.
The Montreal Canadiens and the Calgary Flames, the great tradition of the Montreal Canadiens. And for the first time in the Stanley Cup Finals, the Flames. What are your thoughts on that, man?
Well, they're just happy to be here, Sam. You know, when you look at both the teams that are here, I don't think anybody around the NHL really thought they'd be in this position today. But listen, they're here, and they deserve to be here. They both played well.
The Canadiens have not played since a week ago tonight. The Flames just played 2-0.
There may be a key to the Canadiens winning the Stanley Cup.
Skrudland, McPhee, and Lemieux open up for Montreal. Risebrough, McDonald, and Patterson for Calgary, and into the Calgary zone it goes. Albertson is number 2, crashing around the board. And all the way out of the zone. Rick Green, who missed the last 3 games of the series against the New York Rangers with an ear infection, is back in the lineup. Lemieux with 9 goals in the playoffs, sending it in. He loves to bang the body. McGinnis sending it around to Colin Patterson. Checked by Lemieux. He sends it off the boards to Lanny McDonald. Almost a 2-on-1. It went off the stick of McDonald. It's picked up by Rick Green. Green one-hands it back. McCown's shot is stopped. Like save. Made by Patrick Roy. Made it look easy.
That was a tough stop. There's no question about that. McCown shooting the puck. Roy just getting it. He saw it at the last minute.
In center ice. Steve Bozek, number 26, sending it wide of the net. Bounces off the boards to Bob Janey. Janey lifts it right out of the zone. Reinhardt is there and sends it over to Neil Sheehy. His pass deflected by Chris Nyland. Taken back by Sheehy. Otto had it knocked away. Joey Mullen has it. Mullen comes across the line. Drops it off for Otto. He's bumped by Carbonneau. Reinhardt try to keep it in. Out come the Canadiens. Janey one-on-one against Sheehy. Janey holds up, waits for help. Drops it off. Shot by Chelios is a save off the blocker.
Sheehy is down.
Neil Sheehy goes down.
He got hit in a collision with Chelios after he got the shot away, Sam. Vernon making a blocker save. And Neil Sheehy shaken up. Bearcat Murray of the Flames out to have a look at him.
25 gone by in this first period.
I don't think we've seen anything different than we expected here, Sam. Montreal, of course, a very tight-checking defensive style hockey club, and the Flames can do the same thing. There is Sheehy stretching out, and I think he got nailed by the follow-through of Chelios himself. He's up on his feet now and okay by the looks of it.
A little bloody.
But I think that both these clubs are very capable, Sam, of playing a 2-1 type hockey game.
Both goaltenders are tested early. You see the cut on the bridge of the nose. There is Jean Perron in his first year as head coach of the Montreal Canadiens. Very successful collegiate coach at the University of Moncton. Spent 10 years there. Was assistant coach on the Canadian Olympic team in 1984.
And they trained right here in Calgary. Bob Johnson and the Flames told me this morning, he said, Perron knows more about our hockey club than we know about his, because he was in this building for 2 years with that Canadian Olympic club.
Bobby Smith wins the draw. Shot by Craig Ludwig is wide of the net. Bounces out, and Sheldalene takes it. Winds it around. McInnes there for Calgary. Gets it past Naslin to Mullen. Mullen looks ahead. Deflected from Bozek to Jamie McCown. And now Joel Otto takes it in. Swept away. It comes to Mullen. Wrist shot is deflected high and up into the crowd.
Joey Mullen wearing that complete face mask now. As you look at Bob Johnson. Pushing and shoving after the whistle right off the bat. Otto and Bobby Smith. Bob Johnson, who admits he does not like to coach during games, but in practice he did not have a lot of time, obviously, after the St. Louis series, which was 2 nights ago, ended in Game 7. And if you recall back to the first game of St. Louis,
there's a man who's waited so long for this moment.
Hard to mistake that face, isn't it? Lanny McDonald, one of the veterans on this Calgary club. And Bob Johnson said, you know, we were bad in Game 1 against St. Louis, and on home ice you hate to lose that advantage, but they came back to recover. They hope that that doesn't happen here tonight with Montreal.
Cheers are for the line of Poplinski, Hunter, and Fotiu, and that is one big line. Fotiu, the only player on the ice without a helmet. Carbonneau and Poplinski on the draw. Hunter couldn't get there. It's taken out. Robinson with a lead for Gainey. Gainey with a shot that's wide. Gainey has played on 5 Stanley Cup champions. Excuse me, 4. Robinson has played on 5. Hunter rolls it in. And Mike Lawler, rookie defenseman, has played very steady throughout the playoffs, sending it out up in the Calgary bench, stopping play. 1 minute 6 seconds gone by. Larry Robinson, 5 Stanley Cup champions he's been on. The first one in 1973, and then the 4 in a row from 76 through 79.
Robinson, in his 14th or 15th professional season, actually, has never missed the playoffs in 14 years in the NHL. And he bounced back this year with a very strong season. A bit of an off year last year, and was hearing it from the fans in Montreal. But boy, he's still a very big guy, a key guy on that Montreal defense.
He says his play in Canada Cup was very important for him over a year ago. And it helped turn things around. What a year he had this year.
A very, very slow start here. Just a couple of minutes into the hockey game. These teams really feeling each other out.
Bartel tied up with Nyland. Robin Bartel. Baxter sending it to Tim Hunter, who slides it in. Robinson is back for it. Poplinski chasing him. Robinson drops it off for Lawler and across to Gainey. For Chris Nyland. Nyland has played well in the playoffs. Very clean. A man is accused of being a chippy and sometimes very dirty hockey player. Puck slides side of the net. Vernon bangs it off the boards. Robinson is back for it. Stephane Richer, number 44, has the puck. The fine young players on the Canadiens driving it in. That's lively boards.
Oh, yes. Canadiens will have to get used to it. Of course, the Flames playing here, they got to bounce it down pretty well. Montreal only had one game in here this year. They won 2 of the 3 games against Calgary this season.
Setting it down, and icing is called. 16:49 to go. First.
I never realized the world was so full of hazards. That's why there's a company like MetLife, because sometimes things do get out of control. Hey! That's why over 43 million people look to Met to be there when things go wrong. That's why you should get Met. It pays.
Waving the flag for the Flames. It's like they had a party, and everyone had to dress up with something red.
You
didn't have some clothing, you painted your face red.
95% of the people in this building have got some red on, and around the town here in Calgary.
Thing is, you can't tell if they're Canadiens fans here because they're red too.
I guarantee you they're mostly Flames fans. Of course, this city of Calgary and the area here in Alberta got smothered with 15 inches of snow here 2 days ago. Came over the mountains and dumped everything it had on the area. So they're just kind of digging out from that. You can imagine, May 16th. 15 inches of snow. Hockey weather.
Lemieux sending it all the way down. This will be another icing. Quieted down. The crowd was very much alive in the introductions. We were right before the national anthem. So maybe the slow-down tactics are part of the Canadiens' plans early in the game.
I think, though, that probably Calgary would like to play that type of game as well, knowing coming off that 7th game 2 nights ago, and they want to play as tight defensively as possible. Montreal can play it several ways. They can use their speed if they have to. When they get behind, you'll see them speed the game up quite a bit, but they're very tough defensively. Patrick Roy so far 1.77 goals against in the playoffs, and of course out in front of him you got Robinson and Green, Chelios, Ludwig. They're going with 5 defensemen tonight, and the rookie Lawler as well.
Skrudland won the face-off. Canadiens work it out of the zone. It's broken up. Pushed into the Montreal zone. Patterson knocks it into the corner.
Oh.
Penalty call.
Yep.
O'Donnell pulled down by McPhee.
Look at this. Look out.
Get some fighting along the boards early.
That was a shot blasted by Lawler that went right up at Paul Baxter, and he came charging in. Penalty was being called originally. McDonald gave Kerry Fraser all kinds of help to play. He took a pretty good dive.
I think the crowd helped Kerry Fraser on that call.
I'm not sure if it was Lawler or Skrudland that blasted a slap shot out. It almost hit Baxter in the head, and he came charging in. And it looks like things are going to cool down pretty well now.
16:25 to go, first period in game 1. There's no score. Give me a light. Things have settled down, and Kerry Fraser skates over to the official scorers table to check out the penalties. A couple of other players will go. The original penalty was to Mike McPhee for hooking. But we'll get the rest of them right now.
The one thing you have to be careful of in Montreal's case, when you only dress 5 defensemen, as they have here, with 13 forwards and 2 goaltenders, of course, 20 guys can be dressed, is that you have to make sure. There's a look at the penalty right there, and Lanny certainly helped Fraser, but McPhee did get the call. The thing they have to be careful of, Sam, is they've got to keep their defensemen out of trouble. Now, Calgary, on the other hand, could say, okay, we want to start a little trouble. Mind you, that wasn't started by the Flames. Get in there, get a couple of the defensemen fighting. You get 2 guys in the box, you only got with 3 defensemen, and they will get tired very quickly.
Though they've suited up 5 defensemen, John Kordic played defense in the American Hockey League. He's suited up as an extra forward. There's Mike McPhee. Now, Robin Bartel is also in the penalty box for Calgary.
Bartel got mixed up after Baxter charged in, so have to wait and see what the announcement is here. I'm not sure if they got 2 apiece or whether McPhee's got
2
4.
minutes for hooking,
And they may have coincidental minors on top, because I see the clock now only has a 2-minute penalty listed for Mike McPhee, which would still give the Flames then a power play. This looks like
3:35 the time of the penalties.
That's what it is, Sam, by the looks of it. Canadiens, Carbonneau and Gainey, who have done a tremendous job in the playoffs so far, killing penalties.
Power play for the Calgary Flames, who have had an outstanding power play, especially against the St. Louis Blues. Better than 30%. Otto along the board. 5-on-4 advantage for the Calgary Flames. There's no score in the game. From the point, McInnes a blast. Save Roy. Keeps it alive and plays it to the boards. Carbonneau clears the zone. Gaining for the puck. Poked away from him by Reinhart. McInnes and Reinhart at the points. Otto, Quinn, and Mullen up front. They're offside on the play.
Well, Mullen jumped offside. Big Joel Otto out of Bemidji State. It was quite a find for Bob Johnson. Johnson was very proud of him, the way he's played. There's Big Al McInnes back at the point. He shoots the puck with the best of them, maybe the best in the National Hockey League from that defensive right point. Boy, is he going to rock it. And they like to use him back there. Reinhart, the veteran, on the other side.
2 shots on goal thus far for Calgary. Both have been from long range, and Ruiz handled them. Minute 35 to go on the penalty to Mike McPhee. The extra 2 minutes. Lawler able to clear. Canadiens penalty killing, as Mickey said, has been outstanding throughout the playoffs. Almost 91%. In comes Reinhart. Penalty call.
Going to be against Calgary, too.
Mullen.
They had possession of the puck.
Joey Mullen will go for interference. Yes. 15:46 to go in the first period. There's no score. Joey Mullen goes for 2 minutes for interference at 4:14. So eventually the Canadiens will wind up with a 39-second man advantage.
Not a good penalty for Joe Mullen to take. He was trying to interfere just enough to put the Canadiens off their game outside the blue line, but got too much of the Canadiens player. And the 4 skaters aside.
Bozak coming in. Bozak checked by Green. Bozak working it in front. Saver while the rebound. Another save.
Good not there. Well, got a piece of that.
The week off has not stopped Patrick Roy's sharpness at all.
That's for sure.
Jim Kelly standing by at ice side. Jim, what's it like down there?
All right, Sam, all games on ESPN. We're live here in Calgary. We'll be right back here at 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time on Sunday night. Game 2, the Canadiens and the Calgary Flames. But, of course, all the games, even if it goes 7, will be live on ESPN. No blackout back in the States. 15:32 left to go, and a rather quiet first period so far, Mickey. And it's kind of like the early stages of a baseball game or a football game, each team kind of feeling out the other.
Thing we expected out of these 2 hockey clubs.
Starting to pick up, though.
Yeah. Oh, it will. There's no question about it, but especially Montreal. They're on the road, so they, as you pointed out, Sam, will try to keep it quiet. Calgary again coming up at 17.
McInnes shot. Got through, and a save by Roy. Another save. Out to the point. McInnes tries again. It's blocked by Carbonneau. Way up in the air. Skrudland gets to the puck. Skating 4 aside as Carbonneau comes in with a shot. Stick save made by Vernon.
Carbonneau's too much. That shot blocking ability that he has, and offensively, what a player.
Here comes Sheldalene, hooked and slowed down by McInnes. He sends it around the boards. McInnes gets to the puck. Montreal will have a man advantage in 35 seconds. Doug Risebrough on 4 Stanley Cup champions with the Canadiens in the late 70s. Richer had the play broken up by Jamie McCown. Now it's McCown taking it across the line. Feed for Bozak. Bozak checked by Ludwig. Still with the puck. Now Green picks him up. Gets it around a hook and loop. Rocks around, deflects. Roy lost the side of the puck as it bounces to the near side. Richer able to clear the zone. Canadiens get Mike McPhee back in 5 seconds. McInnes has the puck. 14:25 to go. First period, no score. Extra man on for Montreal as Bozak comes in. Bozak against Robinson. Puts it in front. Chelios is there. Second-year man, Chris Chelios, born in Chicago. Played at the University of Wisconsin. Now it's Bobby Smith. He played in the Stanley Cup Finals in 1981 with Minnesota. Smith still with the puck. Back to Robinson. Looking for shooting room. He goes instead to Smith. Now to Mats Naslund. He shoots. He scores. Naslund, a power play goal. And Montreal leads 1-0.
There's 10 seconds to go in the Mullen penalty as well, but the Canadiens did a good job of isolating the Flames one-on-one. Look at Robinson. He just pulls it to him, fakes the shot, and puts it over to Smith. He does the same thing and gives it to Naslund. And there you see the front of the net. Lemieux had the Calgary defenseman Reinhardt all tied up and allowed Naslund to come out by himself. Look at Lemieux in front, all alone, and tucks it right between the legs of Mike Vernon. 1-0 Montreal.
That's Naslund, who had 43 goals during the regular season, 19 power play goals. Scores a power play goal to give Montreal the lead.
His sixth of the playoffs, Sam. That's Naslund. Talking between these two teams, who will be the best Swedish player? Will it be Naslund or will it be Håkan Lund?
Baxter sending it around the board. John Canelli, another man with 4 Stanley Cup championships under his belt. All with the New York Islanders. Good play by Robinson, knocking it away from Joe Mullen and controlling the puck. Robinson with Strudlin on the right, dumps it in. Strudlin goes after it. McCown is there first. Bangs it off the boards. Baxter comes over. Baxter looking to freeze it and gets the whistle for a face-off. 13:25 to go in this first period, and Montreal taking the lead. If you're looking for omens as far as the series are concerned, we'll give you one in a moment. Here's that replay of the goal.
Look at Lemieux in front. He's got him. There's a little tuck right between the legs, right there. It looked like Vernon got a piece of that one. And it just trickled in, but it's in. And that's all that counts. So Naslund gets the one-up on Håkan Lund for the Battle of the Swedes, and they're off and running. You know, it's very important. I don't know what stat you were going to come up with. We've got 100,000 stats here in the paper and the media, but let's see here. First game, went on to win the first game. I guess I was thinking of the team that won the first game in the Stanley Cup Finals has gone on to win 82% of the time.
I like that one.
It's quite an astounding stat. 82% is a heavy advantage.
What I started to say was 1946, 1956, 1966, and 1976. The Montreal Canadiens have won the Stanley Cup. They'll try to do it again here in '86. Ludwig, number 17, bangs it off the boards to Dahlin, who clears the puck. You forgot Kjell Dahlin. He could be one of the outstanding Swedes.
Yeah, that's true. And Dahlin has been in and out of the lineup, but back in the lineup tonight.
Sends it back in to the Calgary zone where Reinhardt plays it. Deflects to Naslund. Naslund comes in and shoots. Save, Vernon. Rebound, another save. That one by Dahlin. Shot by Chelios is wide. Ludwig bangs it off the end glass. Otto gets to the puck, couldn't clear. Dahlin takes it back for Montreal. Good pressure by the Canadiens. Smith sending it toward the net. It's deflected on goal, and Vernon stops it.
Boy, Vernon took that shot by Naslund right up around the throat, Sam. Knocked him right on his rear end. What a dangerous opportunity. Watch this as Naslund intercepts the puck. Turns around. Watch the nifty little move between the stick and the feet right there. And blast. Top of the circle. Boom. Right off the right side of the jaw. Rebound, Dahlin. And again, Vernon is there.
Very important save. And good comeback by Vernon after Montreal scores the early goal.
You betcha.
Got up and stopped Dahlin.
He didn't look shaken up at all, so it must have caught him in the right place.
12:31 to go in the first period. The rookie Mike Vernon, 11 wins and 5 losses in the playoffs. At the point, Larry Robinson across to Rick Green. He drives one that stick to side. Comes out to Robinson. Robinson drops it back to Nyland. Blocked by Fatir, and he pushes it out. Good play by Nick Fatir.
Here comes Roy.
Roy plays it up into the crowd.
Hunter take a piece of him.
He's fair game out there.
He gambled and won. Flipped it up over the glass, and I don't know if Hunter went out of his way. I was watching where the puck went. Let's have a look and see. Green is back. Here comes Big Tim Hunter. Well, it's hard to say whether he...
Well, I think more of Green got Roy that time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think more accidental than not. But, of course, when you see 19 and you know it's Tim Hunter, it's not that often, is it, accidental in this case?
I thought he was reaching out with that right elbow to try and get to Roy.
That's right.
20-year-old Patrick Roy, who finished up his junior career a year ago where he played at Granby, went on to the American Hockey League playoffs with Sherbrooke, and led them to the Calder Cup championship. Now trying to lead the Montreal Canadiens. at the end of his first year in the National Hockey League. Baxter going back to McCown. Jamie McCown had a fine game in Game 7 against St. Louis, sending it in from the Calgary side of the red line. Icing had been waved off, though. And Dave Maley, rookie out of the University of Wisconsin, fires it around the boards. Past Vernon, comes to John Tonelli. Wow, is he sandwiched. Collision. Ryan Walter and John Kordick smash Tonelli from either side. Back in the Calgary zone, McCown plays it.
Tonelli's stumped. He's still hurting.
He's out there on the ice, staying out there. Baxter comes in. His shot goes wide. Ludwig went down to try and block it. Now Tonelli has gone to the bench. McCown with the puck sends it over to Colin Patterson. Down by Ludwig. Canadians love to play with the lead. Standing defensive team and look for the opening. They'll dump out on the road. They'll dump that puck out of the zone, and then when that opening arises, they go for it.
He just leveled McDonald. The Flames look very lethargic right now. They had a couple of chances early. The Canadians are starting to take over a little bit here.
Chelios. Lead for Lemieux. He's tied up. Here comes Colin Patterson. Lead to Lonnie McDonald. McDonald shoots wide. All the way out of the zone it goes. Back to Al McInnes. Lead for McDonald. Looked like he was still in the zone, but there was no offside called. The Flames recover the puck. Neil Sheehy. Goes cross for McInnes. Taps it into the Montreal zone. Risebrow after it. And it cleared out. Sheehy goes back for it. Coming down toward the midway point of the first period. Here's Bozek across the line. Bozek for Hook and Lube with a shot deflected by Green. Comes around to Joel Otto. Otto's pass is stopped by Rick Green. Green is tied up with Bozek, and Otto gets there. Out to the point, McCown winds it right back to Otto in the corner, but he gave it away. And cleared out by Carbonneau. Vernon out to stop the puck and slides it over to Paul Baxter. Chris Nyland forechecking, number 30. Lawler with Coutinho on him, sends to Robinson. Penalty coming up. Baxter's going to go. Harry Fraser was right there as Baxter came over and hit Bob Gainey. 9:44 to go, first period. Montreal won. Paul Baxter off for 2 minutes. Canadians get their second power play opportunity. .9:40 to go in the first period as Jamie McCown has the puck. Drives it up the boards. Lube trying to clear was stopped. Now he gets it out to center. Robinson and Chelios on for Montreal with Lemieux, Naslin, and Bobby Smith. Calgary sending out Lube, Risebrow, McCown, and McInnes. Smith. Cross to Chelios. Try to lead Smith, who was too far. Naslin chases after it. Knocked away by McCown. Up the boards to Lube, who clears. Risebrow gets to the puck. Comes in against Chelios and drives it wide. On the boards and out to center ice where Lube sends it down. Claude Lemieux, who has 4 power play goals. 9 goals in the playoffs for the rookie Claude Lemieux. And it's cleared by McInnes. 1 minute to go in Baxter's penalty. Canadiens leading 1-0. Goal by Mats Naslin. Here's Ryan Walter. Knocked down by McCown with a hard hit. Sheehy has the puck. Fires it down.
Montreal power play not showing much at all here this time.
40 seconds to go on the man advantage. Robinson. Lead for Ryan Walter. Throwing it across. Sheldalene with a back pass to Robinson. Robinson's pass deflected. McCown gets there to clear. Lead for Hock and Lube. It's a breakaway for Lou. Stop for Roy.
Penalty.
Patrick Roy continues to be brilliant in goal for the Montreal Canadiens.
Excuse me, Sam. Canadiens penalty coming up on the breakaway by Lube. And once again, Patrick Roy is there. It remains Montreal 1, the Flames 0.
Larry Robinson goes off for 2 minutes. Time of the penalty, 11:57. Baxter returns in 4 seconds.
There's the breakaway by Hock and Lube. And he fakes to the backhand, goes to the forehand, and the youngster stays right with him. There wasn't any question at all. And he didn't just get a piece of it. It hit him right in the middle of the left pad. And Roy continues to marvel. In the other series, Sam, the Rangers, I think they had, Roy at one point had the Rangers talking to themselves. They just couldn't get anything by him for the longest time. Montreal, so far in the playoffs, has played 7 games where they've only given up 1 goal against.
I think everyone that Roy has played against has him talking to themselves. Boston and Hartford and the Rangers. Baxter returns in 10 seconds. I want to correct myself on the time. That shot by McKinnis. Rebound score! John Canelli!
Now you look at the replay, Tonelli just shoveled the backhander or the forehander by Roy. The shot by McKinnis, the rebound right there, and right off the heel of the stick, Tonelli is there, and it's in the right place. Power play goal, Flames.
The Canadiens have been so... It was not a power play goal. It was
4 seconds.
4-on-4.
Yeah. 8 seconds were left in the penalty, excuse me.
Throughout the playoffs, the Canadiens have been very strong in clearing the rebounds. That time, no one was there to clear the rebound. For a while after he made the initial sit. Baxter is back. Canadiens have a power play. Excuse me, the Flames have a power play. McKinnis lead for McDonald. Second Calgary power play. 1-1 the score. Tonelli is in front, battling with Lawler. Dan Quinn back pass to McKinnis. Over to Reinhart. McDonald set up in the slot. That shot deflected over the top. Carbonneau gets to the bucket and drives it out. 10 to go on the penalty to Larry Robinson. 7:10 to go. First period, 1-1 the score. Now the Flames have come alive. McDonald takes a hit. Carbonneau has the puck for Montreal and lifts it out. Carbonneau, who scored 7 goals in the playoffs, has 2 shorthanded goals. Here's McKinnis. Lead from Mullen, who deflects it into the Montreal zone. Lawler after the puck. Otto on him. Good check by Joel Otto. In comes Mullen. Mullen with the puck, sets up the power play. Otto's in front. McKinnis has it. Now Reinhart. McKinnis in the slot. That's Dan Quinn. Quinn to Otto. Back to Quinn. He's checked by Skrudland. Reinhart to McKinnis. Wristed toward the net. Save Roy. Off a screen in front by Otto. He might have deflected it. Out comes Mike McPhee. 18 seconds to go on the power play. McPhee centers. It's deflected through by Vernon. Dan Quinn comes across the line, centers for Joey Mullen. He's checked by Ludwig. Mullen holding, checked by Skrudland, back pass out of the zone, and the penalty to Robinson is over. Teams are back at full strength. 6 minutes to go, first period, 1-1 the score. Naslund gets to the puck, comes across the line. Naslund just dumps it in. Baxter has the puck for Calgary, and now it's Joe Mullen. Mullen. Pass deflected off Paflinski. Ludwig sends it across. Now it's Smith. Lead for Robinson. Robinson comes in. Poke checked away by Baxter. Baxter lifts the puck out of the zone. Shots are 10-6 for Calgary. Score is tied 1-1, and the crowd is alive now. The Flames have gotten back in the game and come alive. Chelios with a good rush. Chopped at by Sheehy. Sheehy all over Chelios. Dahlin comes in for the puck. Dahlin checked by Patterson, and it's taken by Jamie McCown. Out of the zone it goes. Ludwig back for it. 5 minutes to go in the first period. Pass deflects out to center. Patterson sends it back in. Roy comes out to play it. McDonald coming down to keep it in. High hits by McDonald and Ludwig as they were punching at one another, actually shoving forearms in the face. And now we've got the big get-together along the boards.
Donald and Ludwig did give it to each other pretty well. And Lanny got the glove up in Ludwig's face. Ludwig gave him an elbow, and then the clan gathered.
Ray Scapanello, the linesman, trying to get things settled down. 4:50 to go, first period, game one, tied 1-1. Lanny McDonald and Craig Ludwig both go off. No loss in manpower.
Flames at this point out shooting Montreal 10-6. Been a very strange first period of play. For the most part, very tight checking, very slow. And both these teams were feeling each other out. A lot of disruptions with the penalty killing and power play special teams.
Flames send out Quinn, Tonelli, and Mullen. Baxter and Bartel on the back line. Canadiens have Ryan Walter returning from a broken ankle. There it is. There goes Lanny McDonald with the right.
Pretty good punch by Lanny. This morning when I spoke with Bob Johnson in his office, he said, you know, we don't want Lanny to fight. He broke his hand in preseason getting into a fight, and we've told him we don't want you fighting. We've got other guys who can do that. You're out there to score goals. Of course, a couple of years ago, Lanny McDonald.
He doesn't want his defensemen taking penalties, as you pointed out earlier. With only 5 suited up.
That's right. Well, it's pretty tough whether you tell a guy to fight or not to fight out there. When you get in the heated action down there, it's pretty tough not to get involved.
Now here's that goal again by Tonelli. Look at him come in for the rebound.
Roy just didn't get back up. He let that rebound off the left pad, and Tonelli was Johnny on the spot. No pun intended.
Oh, yes, it was intended. Bartel sends it in off the corner boards. Played by Rick Green. He's bumped along the boards by Joe Mullen. Green tries the other pass. On to Mike Lawler. First-tier man from Buffalo sends it out to Ryan Walter. Dumps it in. After the puck, Baxter, his bodies go flying. Tonelli went down along with Kordic. Kordic is out there to use that body. He's a rough player. Dave Maley along the boards. Back to Robinson. Wrist shot deflects wide. Maley gets to the puck. Slowed down by Tonelli. Feed for Ryan Walter. Back pass. Shot by Lawler. Deflects wide of the net. Quinn tries to clear it out and does. Just under 4 minutes to go in the first period. 1-1 the score. Lawler sends it back into the Calgary zone. Net gave it away. Lawler with a shot. Deflected wide.
Got lucky there, Sam.
Baxter coming in, sliding to block the shot. Here's Tonelli ahead of the play. Tonelli goes in and shoots wide. Comes out of the zone. Ryan Scrudlin takes it in. Nice feed for Claude Lemieux. And he was wrapped up by Jamie McCown, who just let go at the last second. Otherwise, we've been very close to a holding penalty. Looked very close as it was. McPhee comes in. His shot deflects wide off McInnes. In comes Chelios. Slowed up by Preplinski. Chelios centers and it's blocked and taken out by McCown. It's Tim Hunter and now Nick Fotiu. The man from Staten Island fires and it's gloved by Roy chest high and he holds it. Jim Kelly standing by to fill us in on what's coming up. Jim.
The one tonight by John Tonelli. It got the Flames and the crowd back into the Stanley Cup game.
No question about it. Montreal had gone up 2-0, and they had a couple of chances to do that. The Flames might have had a very difficult time coming back.
Doug Risebrough. Veteran, supplying a lot of leadership on this team. Some real solid veteran leaderships on both teams. Risebrough, Tonelli, McDonald for Calgary, Robinson, Gainey for Montreal. In the corner, Risebrough centers, deflected off the stick of Lube and up into the crowd. Lube cutting from the near boards. Gainey was on him, but a nice move by Hawken Lube.
When we talk about the veterans on the Montreal side, especially when you look at this hockey club, and so much is being written the last few days about the history of the franchise. And you look around, guys like Toblake, Jean Beliveau, Floyd Curry travel with the team, and of course LaPerriere, Jacques Lemaire, coached a year ago, is up in the press box most of the time. LaPerriere behind the bench. Boy.
Here's that play again. Risebrough. Roy got the stick on it.
Yep.
Good play by Patrick Roy.
First time the Calgary franchise, or the Flame franchise, actually has been in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Flames were born in 1972 in Atlanta and moved in 1980 for the 1980-81 season here in Calgary.
Only 2 guys, I believe, left from that hockey club in Atlanta, and that's Lemelin, Reggie Lemelin, the backup goaltender, and Paul Reinhart. There were a couple drafted.
Shot by Sheehy goes wide. Fotiu has the puck. Checked by Chelios. Back pass to Reinhart. Sends it around for Preplinski. Preplinski was one of those players drafted. So was Tim Hunter. And the teams were in Atlanta. Reinhart pushing it ahead. Collided with his own man. Nyland has the puck. Feed for Gainey. And it slides on goal, and Vernon covers it up. And Nyland and Hunter, two of the rough guys in the National Hockey League. Tim Hunter is a local product. He's from Calgary.
Again, he isn't solid. He had his head down trying to take that pass in his feet. Sheehy was there to run into him, and you know who went down? Neil Sheehy.
Chris Nyland.
Nice picture of Nyland in the paper here in the Calgary Sun yesterday. Today, actually, had his tongue sticking out. He's had my game face on. What a character he is, Chris Nyland, out of the Boston area. He has been rather quiet in the fisticuff department.
He's been very disciplined in the playoffs, and has been a good contributor to that line with Carbonneau and Gainey. Had a look at Nick Fatiou. Nyland is being escorted off as a penalty has been called.
I don't think he'll be the only one. Big Tim Hunter now heads over from his bench area. Hunter led the Flames this year in penalty minutes with 291 minutes.
Crowd.
Both take a rest.
There you saw the puck deflecting in and Vernon covering up. Crowd reacting to Tim Hunter being sent in. Chris Nyland goes off.
That man led the Canadiens with 247 minutes in penalties, so they're no stranger to the place they're in right now.
2:24 to go in the first period.
Does not look like an accountant sitting over there, does it? Timmy Hunter, what a character.
Mats Naslund scoring for Montreal, a power play goal, and then John Tonelli on a 4-on-4 situation scoring to tie it for Calgary. Bobby Smith and Joel Otto on the draw.
Very slow first period of hockey. A lot of tight checking here. 2:24 to go. We're tied at 1. And this crowd has sort of lost its zip, Sam, from the opening and when they introduced the players, especially the Flames.
And it's back for a little while.
Interestingly, they give very good hands to guys like Robinson and Gainey off the Canadiens, certainly respecting their talent over the years.
Robinson with the puck. Firing it up the middle to finds Mats Naslund. Naslund comes across the line. Knocked away by McCown. Bozak. Lifting it ahead. It's broken up. Chelios has it for Montreal. Around to Robinson. Now Stephane Richer leads Bobby Smith. Smith against McInnes goes cross ice to Naslund. Now to Smith. Smith with a backhand off the blocker of Vernon. Can't find it. It's behind the net. McCown picks it up and feeds Joel Otto. Gets it back. It's off his stick. Richer for Montreal. Off the boards. McInnes plays it. Now McCown. This pass broken up by Robinson. Bobby Smith takes it back. Nice move in center ice away from Bozak. Smith gets by McCown. He's still with the puck. Holding, feeds Robinson. Robinson shoots, save Vernon. And the rebound knocked aside. Cleared up the boards and out of the zone. Tough save on a big screen shot by Barry Robinson.
An awful pile up in front.
Lemieux comes in. Comes in front of Screwdland and smothered.
Where is it?
It's underneath Vernon.
No whistle. There's the whistle. Just maybe it went. We couldn't hear it. Fraser in back behind the goaltender.
It was underneath Vernon and then knocked free. What a job by Vernon as Screwdland came in.
Very nice play by Lemieux, who was being checked by both the Flames defensemen. He slipped it over to Screwdland, and he really didn't have a chance to do anything with it except direct it at the net, and Vernon had just sprawled out with his body and covered all the area he could.
Reggie Lemelin was the #1 goaltender for most of the season for the Calgary Flames. Then late in the year, Bob Johnson turned to the rookie Mike Vernon, and he has carried them in the playoffs.
Have a look at it here now. Canadiens with pressure. Here's Smith. That was earlier. Backhand by Bobby Smith. Went off the blocker right there and over top of the net. That was before that last item.
See Vernon loses sight of it.
Yeah.
It's back behind the net. Vernon Luke goes into play.
Vernon ended the season, Sam, with the Calgary Flames. 9 wins, 3 losses, and 3 ties, and therefore deserved the start, and he has really played well in the playoffs.
Lemelin has had only 1 start. It was a loss against Edmonton. Here's Otto coming in against Lawler. Joel Otto holds it. Less than a minute to go in the period. Baxter with a wrist shot. Score! A deflection by Jim Koplinski.
They're going to argue that it was a high deflection. Now, Terry Fraser asking Ronnie Finn, and now there's going to be a misconduct given, I think, to Patrick Roy. He shoved Scapinella.
Pushed Scapinella.
He is really upset, and they are going to argue. Let's have a look and see if it was a high stick or not. The shot by Baxter, the Canadians caught in deep. Was it or wasn't it? Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
It looks like there isn't any question about
There's
the height.
for argument.
Now, we'll be able to tell better by this angle here. The high angle was tough to tell. Watch Poplinski, 24. Is the stick above the shoulder or not?
And tough to see from that angle. I thought the other angle was even better.
I don't know what we've got down there. They are arguing with the referees and linesmen, but I think the goal is going to stand.
Gainey vehemently arguing with Gary Fraser.
Here's a good angle here, Sam. Above the shoulder or not? Number 24. Oh, boy, that was close. By the look at that one told me it was about shoulder height.
Just shoulder height.
Poplinski is a big guy. Jimmy Poplinski, 6'3". And I think by the look at that angle from back of the point, that might have been a legal goal. It looks illegal there on that angle.
But again, this is a high camera, and it's tough to see.
That's exactly right. It is a goal.
It counts. It is Jim Poplinski on the deflection.
Gary Fraser right there with the red armband on. He went to Ron Finn right away to see if he could get the call. There's a look at it. Boy, that is so close. It's right about shoulder level. It's over shoulder level around the head. It's a high stick, and it's no goal. They have ruled it by the sound of it. It was shoulder or below, and the goal will stand, which will put the Flames up 2-1. Roy very, very upset. He first of all shoved
And there's
Finn.
there's going to be a penalty on Patrick Roy.
He was going to get a misconduct right off the bat because Finn got upset and he put the hands on the hips. That was a sign that Roy was going to get a misconduct. Then he shoved Scapanella, the other linesman. So let's see what happens here. Fraser back over again to talk to the timekeepers. It is 2-1 Calgary, and they may be arguing and talking about that goal for a long time. I didn't hear, Sam, whether it was 2 minutes or 10 minutes.
It's a misconduct penalty.
Well, that will not put them short-handed, but now he may have also got a 2-minute penalty.
Nothing listed on the board. It is just a misconduct, and John Kordick will serve it.
Well, they'll have to get those low-angle looks at that goal to really try to hone in on whether it was indeed over the shoulder or not. Poplinski's a big man, as I pointed out, 6'3", and therefore he's got a little more height to work with up there. But that low angle, Sam, it did look like it was right there at shoulder level, and that's just a judgment call by the linesman and the referee.
And that was the first time I've seen Roy lose his cool in the playoffs, where he went out, shoved the linesman. No loss in manpower. It's a misconduct penalty, and John Kordick is serving the misconduct penalty on Roy. McInnes sends it into the Montreal zone. It's almost given away by Ludwig. Bounces out of the zone. Risebrough recovers for Calgary. 35 seconds to go in the first period. Montreal scored first. Canadiens have come back and lead. Montreal scoring first, and then the Flames coming back to lead 2-1. Gainey. McCowan able to clear it out. Ronnie McDonald comes in against Ludwig. Drops it off to Risebrough. Backhander is gloved. Roy at its side of the net. Gets the derisive cheer from the crowd here with 12 seconds to go in the period. The Patrick Roy received a lot of criticism during the season as Jean Perron, the coach of the Canadiens, went with 3 goaltenders, rotated to 3. Roy, people said, experts so to speak, said that he had technical flaws in his game, that he flopped and went down too soon, but Jean Perron stuck with him.
Well, actually, the best goaltender of the 3, Steve Penny, Doug Sotard, and Roy was Sotard, as it turned out throughout the whole season. But Roy got playing pretty well near the end of the year. They went with him, and of course the Canadiens have had a history of that. Look at Dryden way back years ago. He'd come in the Stanley Cup and played so well.
And even Penny 2 years ago.
Penny, yeah, right.
On goal, stopped by Roy and cleared out. Sheehy with the puck as the final seconds tick off in the first period. And it's cleared out. The Calgary Flames will skate off the ice at the end of this first period, leading 2-1. And the Montreal Canadiens, and especially Patrick Roy, will have to...
2 misconducts, you're out of the game. So the rookie Montreal netminder is still around. Now, Montreal All-Star defenseman Larry Robinson, overheard down in the tunnel, said, "Where did they rule that Frazier is the best referee in the NHL?" Expletive deleted. Let's go back to Sam.
Thank you, Jim. Underway second period. Robinson sending it in. McInnes drops it off along the boards. Colin Patterson tied up along the boards with Skrudland. Finally, McCown gets rid of it to McInnes, and the lead is to Lanny McDonald. Across with Risebrough. That shot off the blocker. Roy going down a little early. Had the blocker up and deflected it. Robinson there to send out Claude Lemieux. Lemieux crossed the line, tried to feed the right side to Skrudland. It was broken up. Robinson again. This is the 32nd time these Montreal Canadiens have played in the Stanley Cup Finals, dating back to before the NHL was formed, the National Hockey Association. The first time the Canadiens played in the finals and won one of their Stanley Cup championships. Baxter fell down. Gainey comes across the line with a shot wide. To the near side, it's all the way out. Chelios with Coutinho on him. Chelios goes down. Coutinho can't find the puck. It's picked up by Stéphane Richer. Richer checked by Poplinski, gets away. Hit on the shoulder with a stick. Broken up by Bartel. Out comes Baxter, leaves it for Poplinski. It was Jim Poplinski, and he hit his own man, Baxter, with a stick. Accidentally. It was Poplinski who scored the goal on the controversial goal on the deflection. Poplinski wrestled to the ice by Ludwig. Centered to Baxter. Baxter's shot deflected in the corner. Coutinho being held up by Carbonneau, and Chelios trying to clear. Canadiens come out. Gainey pushing it ahead. Tim Hunter has it back for Calgary. Knocked ahead. Hunter takes it. Hunter comes in. Gets by Carbonneau. Tries to hook him and slow him down. Hunter slides it around and chases it down. Shoots toward the net. It's wide. Reinhart shoots. Stopped in front. It went off the stick of Steve Bozek, who tried to come in and deflect it.
Canadiens just standing around right now, Sam. They're going to get themselves in trouble. Calgary's coming at them.
Otto drives one, and it's stopped by Roy. Covers up. 17:37 to go. Second. Fast start to the second period for the Calgary Flames.
They only get credit for a couple of shots on goal, but territorially they've had it in the Montreal zone pretty near all the time here in the second period.
That puck slides on net and is gobbled up by Patrick Roy.
Roy very upset, obviously, at the end of that period. But, you know, we've seen him not really that badly get upset, but have a bad goal here or there in the playoffs, and boy, he's come right back and played this sparkling goaltending that he has been basically doing throughout the playoffs.
The most he's allowed in any one game in 15 previous games. That shot by Reinhart deflected wide, and again Otto had the shoulder up, had the stick up at shoulder height. Canadiens trying to get out of the zone, unable to do it. Bozek keeps it in. Bozek cross ice to Reinhart with room. Reinhart walks in, save Roy. He covered it.
Flames with all kinds of pressure. Montreal is really flat-footed at this point in the hockey game. They're backing in front of Patrick Roy, and they're very fortunate it's only 2-1 still. Roy has made a couple of big stops here in the early going of the third period. Just a moment ago, Reinhart was allowed to walk right in, top of the circle. And there was Roy to make the stop.
And again from Patrick Roy's angle. Save.
A lot of pushing and shoving and yapping going on here. Sheehy and Smith. There's going to be penalties. Smith and Lube, looks like.
Smith and Lube are going off.
Uncharacteristically, they go to the box. These two are not in there very much. Neil Sheehy was doing some yapping at Bobby Smith. John Cordick still in the penalty box, serving the Roy misconduct.
Each team received 10 minutes in minor penalties assessed in the first period, and each team got one misconduct. Bartel for Calgary and Roy for Montreal.
Look at some of that Calgary pressure again. As Bozek kept it in the zone. You saw Patrick Roy there a moment ago. As you can see, the spelling of his name is R-O-Y. He is a French Canadian, but it's pronounced Roy, like it's R-O-I. A lot of broadcasters have had a problem with this. Some of them just basically put it right down to Patrick Waugh, and that's it.
No loss in manpower as Lube and Smith will serve 2 minutes. Waugh stops the puck for Robinson. And now it's Chris Chelios. As I mentioned earlier, Waugh's allowed in any one game, the most goals allowed was 4 in a game against Hartford. McPhee trying to get in for a shot that's deflected by McInnes. McPhee battles with Mullen. McInnes has the puck. Now McInnes has played a solid game. John Tonelli gets out of the zone. Chelios broke it up. Now McCown's pass gets to Tonelli. Feed to Dan Quinn. Shot blocked by Chelios. Naslund in the corner. Double team, works it up the boards. Past Dahlin. McCown for Calgary. McInnes had 4 shots on goal in that first period. One of them leading to Tonelli's goal. As Waugh made the first stop and Tonelli came in to put in the rebound. McPhee is tied up along the boards. At the point, Joey Mullen's drive. Save Waugh. Dahlin sends out Chelios. He's checked by Joey Mullen. And they freeze it right in front of the Montreal bench. Tonelli and Naslund go at it, and the battle starts right at the Montreal bench.
Chris Nyland is right in the middle of it. He's on the bench. Tonelli grabbed a hold of little Naslund, I believe. And now he's on the outside of the pack.
Things settle down with 16:01 to go, second period. And the chant of Roy, Roy goes up. That man is well lit up, I'll tell you. He's got light bulbs all over him.
He's lit up in more ways than one, I think, Sam. Oh, this is a great crowd. This city is just alive and on fire.
Take a look again.
What a hit. He shoved him right in the middle of the chest, and Carbonell went off balance. This was a good
Joey
stop.
Mullen shot.
Deflected right in front, I believe, by Quinn. And we're back underway.
Colin Patterson's feed is to McDonald. His shot is blocked by Ludwig. Back pass shot by Baxter goes wide. Comes out to Robin Bartel. Bartel sends it around the glass. McDonald after it. It was tapped away. Lawler plays the boards to Chris Nyland. Slides it down the ice. This will be an icing. If Bartel gets there first, and he does. Icing is called. Jim Kelly standing by to let us know what's coming up on ESPN. Jim?
Live from the Chester Valley Country Club. So concerned with the officiating that it takes them out of their game.
I'll get to that in a moment, Jimmy. Sam, go ahead.
Okay, the Flames able to keep it in. Robinson clears the zone. Go ahead, Mick.
I think they can. There's no question about it, because right now the Flames are just all over Montreal. And the Canadiens are playing as badly as I've seen them play throughout the whole playoffs. Penalty coming up here.
On
delayed.
Calgary.
On
Delayed
Calgary.
penalty. The Canadiens try to get the extra skater on. Castillo breaks up the rush. Penalty called. High sticking is the call. 15:03 to go. Second period, Calgary 2, Montreal. Tim Hunter gets 2 minutes for high sticking at 4:57, and the Montreal Canadiens go on their third power play of the game. They are 1 for 2 thus far.
Montreal power play is only 20% in the playoffs so far, Sam. They were third in the league at over 25% during the regular season. Have a look at what may have happened here. Hunter got the stick up. Yes, he did get it up high on Chelios, and Montreal has the extra man.
Ryan Walter, who's back in the lineup for the first time in 7 weeks for Montreal, has not seen all that much ice time. As John Perron watching him carefully, trying to get him back into game shape.
His conditioning certainly has to be something, Sam.
I thought we might see him on the power play, but Bobby Smith has stayed out on the power play. It's Naslund carrying for Montreal against Jamie McCown. Taken by McInnes and around the boards. Kept in by Robinson. McInnes again tries to clear and does. Half a minute on the penalty to Tim Hunter. Chelios and Robinson on the points for Montreal. Chris Chelios has the puck, slides it over to Mats Naslund. Naslund, Smith, and Lemieux up front for Montreal. Good check by Smith. Lemieux back to the point. Robinson to Chelios. Chelios looking in front. Centers across to Robinson. Off his stick. Wrist shot. Kicked out by Vernon. Back it comes to Chelios. And now to Robinson. Chelios drives it, and it's blocked by Colin Patterson. Unable to clear. McCown does. 55 seconds to go in the power play. Naslund feeds Smith. Lemieux Sides for the net. Naslund along the boards. Back to Robinson. Down to Chelios. Robinson to Chelios.
Going to get Robinson in the middle. See, Patterson now without a stick. It's like a 5-on-3.
Nice feed. Save Vernon. Beautiful feed of Mats Naslund cutting in from the left board, and it's clear. 25 seconds to go, and Hunter's penalty as Chelios tries again for Montreal. Hit by McInnes. Nyland centers to Naslund. Poked away by McCown. Bozek will clear. What a play by Jamie McCown.
There was. There were 3 Canadians there.
Around to Ryan Walter, who's on now with 8 seconds to go on the Montreal power play. Regrouping Rick Green, and now to Robinson. Cross ice for Nyland. Takes it off the boards as Hunter is back. Teams are at full strength. And a whistle stopped play. It was a delayed offside on Montreal.
Oh, they love it here in Calgary. Montreal, a couple of opportunities, and Vernon was there when they did get them. A pretty good job of penalty killing by the Calgary Flames. There is the shot right there by Naslund. Quick feed from Smith. Somehow Vernon got it in his feet and kept it out.
They go cross ice. Naslund cutting in from the board.
Patterson there without a stick, Colin Patterson, and that's like a 5-on-3. You're like a duck out of water without a hockey stick in your hand.
Good play.
Flames were lucky on that one, thanks to a good save by Mike Vernon.
A local hero, Mike Vernon. He is from Calgary. What a moment this is for him. As a rookie in the NHL, trying to lead the Calgary Flames to their first ever Stanley Cup championship. DiCarbonneau goes behind Richer. Rick Green has it knocked away by Fatiou. Greg Ludwig back for it. Tim Hunter on him. In center, it's DiCarbonneau. Nice pass to Stéphane Richer. Richer is double teamed by Poplinski and Sheehy. In comes Fatiou for the puck. Across the boards, it's played by Tim Hunter. Ludwig is back for Montreal as Hunter drives one wide of the net. All the way out to center it comes. 12:25 to go, second period. 2-1 Calgary. Hunter down the left side, tied up by Ludwig. Centers across, deflected away from Poplinski by Green. Poplinski chopping it back into the corner where it's played by DiCarbonneau. Carbonneau hit by Fatiou, still has the puck, tripped up by Mullen, who got away with one there. Richer comes in. Vernon stops the puck for Robin Bartel, the rookie defenseman sending it around Jim Poplinski. Now Mullen slides it to Fatiou. The New York connection. Fatiou shooting it wide. Mullen with a check on Nyland. Ryan Walter clears the zone. John Tonelli recovers with a bad back pass. Vernon comes out to stop it. Now it's Paul Baxter. Sends to Tonelli. Against Nyland and gets around him. Lawler is able to play the puck, though. Tied up by Tonelli. Down goes Lawler. Tonelli gets his stick free and centers, but Lemieux intercepts. Pass deflects to Chelios. 3-on-3 rush down the ice. Nyland dumps in. Vernon stops the weird carom. Bartel plays the boards to Dan Quinn. He's checked by Nyland. It's worked free by Lawler, and then it's cleared out of the zone. Chelios bangs it off the glass, intended for Nyland. Vernon stops the puck. Baxter. Dangerous move. Bad move by Baxter. Almost gave it away in front.
I think he was in the crease.
He sends it down the ice. Weisbrod comes down. It's an offside pass. 10:48 to go, second period. Tight checking game here in the second period. Flames have 4 shots on goal. Montreal 2. Shots is 17-12 for the game in Calgary's favor. Calgary leading 2-1. Goals by Tonelli and Poplinski. Montreal's goal by Mats Naslund. Game 2 is Sunday night here at the Olympic Saddle Dome. We'll have it for you live on ESPN. Game time 8 o'clock Eastern time. Games 3 and 4 in Montreal Tuesday and Thursday next week. Time 7:30 Eastern time. Steve Bozek comes in against Rick Green. Dumps it in front. Robinson blocked it. Bozek again. His shot deflects up into the crowd. With 10:31 to go in the second period. Jim Kelly is standing by to let us know what's coming up on ESPN.
Couple of your favorites, guys. The two best college baseball teams in America play live on ESPN Monday night, May 19th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The LSU Tigers and Florida State. They've got the best record in the country, and they'll be going head-to-head on ESPN for the outright title to be the nation's #1 baseball team. That's Monday, May 19th, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, live and exclusive on ESPN. Mickey, each team with a strong defensive orientation and attack generated from the defense. Paul Reinhardt and Al McGinnis are the Calgary starters. Larry Robinson and Chris Chelios are the batteries for Montreal. Right now, advantage to Calgary.
Quick shot off the face-off by Sheehy. Deflects up into the crowd. Stopping play.
An indication of that kind of defensive play that we're getting out of both teams. The shots on goal here in half a period in period number 2. 4 for Calgary and only 2 for Montreal.
Discussion as to where the face-off will be held. Poplinski and Carbonneau.
Kordic and Fatiu out there playing against each other. A couple of tough guys.
Boy. Poplinski pushing it ahead with a good face-off. Chelios has the puck, leaves it for Carbonneau. I don't see Carbonneau beaten too often on face-offs. No. At least he hasn't been in the playoffs. Around the boards, Karams to Carbonneau. He's checked by Sheehy. Centers all the way through. Chelios stops the puck. Battle going on in front. Penalty coming up.
That'll be at Flames. As Reinhardt touched it.
Fatiu for interference.
Yeah, I think Nick Fatiu grabbed a hold of Gainey in front of Mike Vernon, and Vernon is down, very slow to get up.
Hunter and Kordic are squaring off. Vernon was in the midst of that. In any event, Montreal power play coming up with 10:06 to go, second period. Flames 2, Canadiens 1.
And there is Gainey and Fatiu going down. Fatiu does get the call, and Vernon is shaken up. Bearcat Murray is out there to attend to him. Pushing and shoving Sam after, as you mentioned, Kordic and Hunter eye each other. We may see more of that before it's over.
That was the tail end of a big battle in front, Fatiu and Gainey, as Gainey was setting up. Fourth power play for the Montreal Canadiens.
Montreal has generated very little here in the second period. Almost half a period gone by. 10:06 to play. And the Canadiens with relatively no offense at all.
Lemieux back pass to Richer. Richer is at the point. Robinson, usually it's Chelios. Here's Richer looking and shooting, blocked by Otto. Comes to Robinson for a shot, blocked by Risebrough. Race for the puck. Risebrough gets there. Robinson getting back. Backhander is stopped by Roy. Richer has the puck. Montreal power play. Naslin pushes it toward the Calgary zone, where Jamie McCown picks it up and clears it.
Indication right there with Chelios normally on the right point. They're going with a fourth forward and Stéphane Richer. Going to get some offense.
Lead for Bobby Smith. Comes in with Claude Lemieux. Smith shoots, and a save by Vernon. Bats the rebound in the air. Al McInnes plays it. Has some room. Plays the boards. Richer stops it at the line, but it's taken away by Luke. Restolen by Lemieux. On to Smith and now to Richer. Back to Bobby Smith. 1 minute to go on the power play for Montreal. Naslin winds it around. McInnes gets there. Bozek goes for the puck. Robinson stops it. Naslin pushes it ahead. Got tripped up and went down. Lemieux tied up. Lemieux works it back into the corner to Bobby Smith. And now Robinson at the point. Lemieux set up in front. Richer trying to keep it in, but lost it to Luke. Breaking down the left side is Steve Bozek. Bozek comes in. Pulls up. He's bumped by Robinson, but able to kill off some time. Half a minute to go on the Montreal power play. Richer fell down, and it's taken away by Patterson. Patterson, the Risebrough's broken up. Big play by Larry Robinson. There's Stéphane Richer coming in. Again, Sheehy beats him. And then he's taken out by Patterson. And Vernon is able to smother the puck at the side of the net with 13 seconds to go on the penalty to Nick Fatiu. 8:19 to go, second period. And the Flames leading 2-1.
Well, if it hadn't been for a good defensive play by Larry Robinson, this would have been a 3-1 game. Very possibly, and there it is, as Risebrough was in the clear. Now Roy was there, but that might have been awfully dangerous. A shorthanded situation. Richer now up the other side, and Vernon just covered it. The Flames laying the lumber on pretty well when the Canadiens come on the offense.
Looked like a couple of times the Flames were able to take advantage of Richer, a forward being at the point.
That's right. That's the danger that you put yourself in when you do have a forward back there. One might think, well, come on, it's not that difficult, but it's a totally different position back there because you're always thinking offense when you're a centerman or a winger. You don't think how to get back there and just play defense and not worry about it all.
Face-off coming out of the zone. Rick Green and Chris Chelios are on now for Montreal. Chelios to Green. Back to Chelios, and Petiou is back. Teams are at full strength as Sheldalin holds up with the puck. Centers across, deflects to Petiou. And he sends out Joe Mullen. Mullen with 10 goals in the playoffs, drops it up for Risebrough. Risebrough still with the puck behind the net. Now along the boards, he's checked by Rick Green. They both go down. Ryan Walter tied up by Joe Mullen. Mullen goes down. Petiou with a hit on Chelios. Down goes Chelios. Petiou behind the net, tries to work it in front of his block by Roy. Battle in the corner, Chelios and Risebrough. Mullen keeps it in. Good work by the Calgary Flames.
Well, they're
all
over the Canadiens, just floor checking. 3 guys right now.
With Calgary changing, Chelios able to come out, and a lead for Nyland. His shot is wide. Nyland
hurt.
Goes flying.
Looks like he might have caught a high stick as he goes flying into the end boards, covering up his face.
Chris Nyland slow to get up as he was sent in on the breakaway.
He missed the net completely. On the breakaway chance, it was a semi-breakaway, Sam. Calgary had 1 player back. Let's have a look at it. Sheehy gets back. He's there. Now Nyland's forced to shoot it from about 35 feet. And he missed the net completely there. The stick came up and caught Nyland on the face. No penalty, though, on the play.
Nyland yelling at referee Kerry Fraser. To go in the second period. All the scoring in the first period. Canadiens got the first goal by Mats Naslund on a power play, and the Flames coming back on goals by John Tonelli and Jim Poplinski. Bartel clearing the zone. It's stopped by Mike Lawler. Paul Baxter there to intercept. Out for Joe Mullen. And into the Montreal zone. Off the corner boards. Lawler plays it. Checked by Tonelli. Quinn trying to take it away. Skrudland has it for Montreal. Offside. Tonelli was still in the zone when it was deflected back in.
Well, Calgary's really got Montreal off their game, Sam. Montreal normally likes to throw that puck in and forecheck 2 and 3 guys of their own, but they're so busy defending the Flames, who've been doing the same thing to them. They haven't had a chance to get the offense going.
Dan Quinn, in his second year in the National Hockey League, scored 30 goals. Thus far in the playoffs, he's had 7 in 13 games.
17 of those goals during the season were power play goals. It's a fancy hockey player.
Baxter drives it on goal. Ross stops it. We talked about the fine defensive play of the Canadiens, but how about the defense of the Calgary Flames? That shot by McDonald knocked away with a blocker. Canadiens have had only 3 shots on goal here in the second period.
I think what they've done is they've given the Flames some life.
Lawler blocked and broken up by Risebrough, and now Montreal is offside.
I thought Calgary looked rather lethargic in the first period, but Montreal has come out even quieter in the second, and you get that momentum going. You feel like, hey, these guys can be had tonight. Well, it's reversed.
I've seen it a couple of times thus far, Mickey, and I know you have too, in these playoffs, where teams that have had the longer rest don't seem to react and respond as well in that first game. They seem to lose that sharpness. Canadiens played a week ago tonight when they clinched the series over the New York Rangers, winning the Wales Conference Championship in 5 games, and sat around for a week.
Well, Gainey told me this morning as he was getting on the bus after practice, he said if it hurts us, it'll be tonight. But in the long run, he feels it should help them, and Calgary may get tired in the latter part of the series.
Robinson back for the puck. Now it's Chelios moving it ahead. Met by Jamie McCown. And Ryan Walter's shot is stopped by Vernon.
Chelios hauled down in the corner.
McCown and Chelios in the corner. Ryan Walters there along with Nick Petiou. There's Chelios. Chelios missed almost 40 games in the regular season. He has some words with Nick Pettiu.
Cowan to hold him down. I think he just shoved him off top of him at the end there, and he started to mill around again.
Chelios missing all that time with injury, and I think that's worked to his favor, because in the playoffs he's been rather fresh. I thought he played an outstanding series against the Rangers.
Around the Montreal camp, as you look at that last Canadian scoring chance with the backhand by Walter, they said that in the Rangers series, Chelios just started to come on, just like he was doing there, lugging the puck offensively, helping out, making those plays, and setting up his forward rather than sitting back. So the first couple of series, he really wasn't a dominant figure, but he started to really come on and play like the Chris Chelios they know in that Rangers series.
As Ryan Walter missed 7 weeks of action with a broken ankle. Now back in the lineup. Both teams are missing key players. Montreal missing Mario Tremblay, and Tom Curvers has been out. And of course, the Calgary Flames missing all-star defenseman Gary Suter and their fine center iceman Carey Wilson.
No question about it. Your injuries are going to be a part of the game at any time, and especially in the playoffs. Both these teams carrying roughly 25 players at the time. Of course, Brett Hull has been signed by the Calgary organization, son of great Bobby Hull. And a nice young man he is. I had a chance to speak to him this morning, and I said, boy, you know, you never know. I'm just waiting. I'm ready to get in.
Bob Johnson has hinted that he might use him, and it'd be interesting to see if he does use him. Good shooter, good scorer.
Well, of course, Bobby couldn't shoot it too well either.
No. That's because he couldn't see it. He didn't. Robinson is tied up battling with Lanny McDonald. In comes Colin Patterson looking for it, trying to poke it free. Robinson plays the boards to Nyland. Kept in by Bartel. Now it's McDonald centering, but there to intercept is Dave Maley. Maley able to clear it out. Bartel. The team's playing a lot of rookies. Bobby Smith knocked down. Puck knocked away by Maley, and it's covered up by Vernon. 5:13 to go, second. Those are clear skies. A couple of days ago, there were snowy skies and snowy rooftops. Home of the 1988 Winter Olympics. We're at the Olympic Saddle Dome, where the Calgary Flames and the Montreal Canadiens have begun the Stanley Cup Finals, and the Flames with a 2-1 lead here in the second period of Game 1.
Next goal in this hockey game, Sam, is going to be the goal of the game. Even though we've got time to play in the second period, it's been a very funny kind of a hockey game. Not a lot of shots on goal, very scrappy type play. Flames to get up 3-1, they are going to be awfully difficult to catch.
Bozak complaining to linesman Ron Finn. Joel Otto comes out with the puck, trailed by Hawk and Lou. Feed is to Lou across the line against Rick Green. Nice poke check by Green. Dahlin is able to clear the puck. Neil Sheehy waits for his teammates to get onside. Wow, stops it. Plays the glass. Lou stops it along the boards. Back into the corner it goes. Otto is there with Craig Ludwig. Lou plays it around the boards to Steve Bozak. Bozak back to Joel Otto. Otto checked by Ludwig. And the Canadiens come out. Naslin. Cross ice feed to Bobby Smith for a drive. Stick save, Vernon. Good hard shot by Smith. Vernon coming up with a sharp save. Lube works it into the Montreal zone. Ludwig is on hook, and Lube works his way free. Lube with a wraparound, stopped by Rowan, and covers it in the crease. Good, quick move by Hook and Lube. Lube came on strong in the latter stages of the season to wind up with 31 goals in 68 games.
Well, Lube has always been an offensive threat. That time he tried the wraparound, and again, that puck bouncing crazily. Montreal just seemed to lose sight of it, and all of a sudden there's 2 or 3 Flames right there. You see Ludwig completely missed him.
Great quickness by Lube.
Well, anticipated it, though, and finally smothered it.
Watch this shot by Bobby Smith.
That was a good stop by Mike Vernon. 40-foot shot, slapper by Smith.
The rookie goaltenders are looking sharp. Mike Vernon for Calgary. Patrick Roy for Montreal. 4:19 left in the second period. Canadiens win the draw. Lawler plays it ahead to Claude Lemieux. Out for Brian Skrudland. Skrudland across. Back for Lemieux. He was double teamed. Out at the point, Chelios. This is Mike Lawler. Wristing it wide of the net. to the near boards. Stanley trying to poke it out. It was kept in. Skrudland goes back to Chelios for a shot. Stick save, Vernon. Rebound along the boards. Lawler. He's tied up with Dan Quinn. Puck slides to the line, kept in by Lawler, then blocked out by Quinn. Chelios to McPhee and on to Lemieux. Glove head high by Vernon, decides to hold it as Skrudland was there. We get a little get-together behind the net. Joey Mullen knocked down. Pushing and shoving continues behind the net.
Well, those sticks get up. It was Skrudland who was high-sticked a little bit to the left of Mike Vernon to start it off with, and McCowan came into it.
So Jamie McCowan with Mike McPhee. As things settle down, we'll go to Jim Kelly.
In the second interval.
Well, I also remember the Rocket.
Okay, let's go back to Mickey and Sam.
Thanks, Jimmy.
See, I told you that red jersey would blend in. Nobody
right.
would know. Mickey Redmond played on 2 Stanley Cup champions with the Montreal Canadiens. What's that feeling like in Montreal? This is the greatest hockey team of all.
It really is, Sam. It's hard to describe the feeling you have, especially when you step on the ice at the Montreal Forum. It's just one of those one-time in your life type feelings. You've got that uniform on. They have such tremendous tradition, and it's been carried on through the years through the coaching staff and ownership, and you name it, they've got it down the line with all the greats around the game as well in the past history. It's pretty tough not to go in there and feel that when you put that uniform on.
And here they are playing for the Stanley Cup championship one more time. Lead for John Kordic. Gainey goes for the net. The pass is behind him. He was knocked down. Carbonell worked it in front. Bartel with a good play to clear it. Roy lets it slide to the side of the net. Icing is waved off. Roy plays it. 3:15 to go in the second period. Calgary 2, Montreal 1. Baxter sending it to the Montreal line. Green pushing it ahead. Gainey's feed is to Carbonell. Carbonell tied up from behind. That shot by Gainey gets through, deflects off the glass into the crowd. And once again, a little get-together. John Kordic is there. A sea of red here at the Saddle Dome in Calgary for the first time. The Flames playing for the Stanley Cup championship. They went to the semifinals in 1981, and they were eliminated by the Minnesota North Stars, who went on to the finals and lost to the New York Islanders in 5. That was the farthest they have gotten until this year. And Calgary Flames with 2 tough 7-game series victories over the Edmonton Oilers and the St. Louis Blues.
Speaking of the Oilers, of course, they had the Battle of Alberta, and some of the signs around here, one of them specifically says, "Hi, Edmonton. Hope you're having a great summer. Wish you were here." Oh, boy. That was quite a series, boy. They were going at it in the press and everywhere else, including on the ice.
I tell you, one thing you can't do is rub it into the Oilers. They'll be back next year.
I'm sure they will.
Champions. They'll be back. Sunday night is game 2. You'll see it here live on ESPN at 8 o'clock Eastern. Shot by Ludwig is gloved shoulder high by Mike Vernon. He holds it. 8 o'clock Eastern time, the start time for game 2. Games 3 and 4 will be in Montreal Tuesday and Thursday nights. And Ken Wilson and Bill Clement will join Jim Kelly to bring it to you from the Forum in Montreal. Start time at the Forum, 7:30 Eastern time, Tuesday and Thursday nights. Joey Mullen works it up the boards, and it's kept in momentarily by Ludwig. Here's the 3-on-1 developing. Tonelli across the line, across the Queen, he deflected it wide. Centers, and it's off the stick of Ryan Walter. Tonelli to Reinhardt. Back pass is out of the zone.
Yeah.
Offside.
No question about it. That was outside. Not by much, but it was there.
Dan Quinn at the side of the net is hanging his head. There he is.
No, it just caught the wrong part of the blade of his stick. He didn't get much wood on it. 3-on-1, and he had the whole open side to shoot at if he could control the pass. Tonelli flipped it, and it bounced a little bit. And if you could see Quinn's stick, Dewey, just a little bit. He did not get a good piece of the puck. It started to flip on him, and it just knuckleballed wide of the net.
I thought that was a pretty good pass by Tonelli.
Yeah.
Cross ice, soft.
Puck's been bouncing quite a bit here in this hockey game, and it did right there to the disadvantage of the Flames.
Dan Quinn heads to the bench. Line change. 2.5 minutes to go in the second period. Chelios across to Ludwig. Puck and Lube forechecking. Puck is sent all the way down. Vernon stops it in front of the crease. Leaves it for Jamie McCown. McCown, who was victimized late in the third period in that 6th game against St. Louis, has really come back with 2 fine defensive games in Game 7 and here tonight. Joel Otto in the corner. Checked by Ludwig. Gave it away to Dave Maley. The rookie, Dave Maley, goes cross ice. That's Naslund. Back to Maley. It's in his skates. The backhander is stopped by Vernon as he finds the puck.
Boy, that was a great scoring chance. Unfortunately for Maley, it got in his feet. But Naslund spotted him. It was a 3-on-2.
Down and Maley did some shoving. Now Maley,
He's going to shove anybody in the
he'll
opposite
hit
jersey.
anyone. Here it is.
The 3-on-2. Naslund cuts in and stops. McCowan goes down, and Maley is just not able to hold the pass as it hit him in the back skate. And Vernon was able to cover up.
Dave Maley, just a little over 2 months ago, he's playing at the University of Wisconsin. When the season ended, he's on to the Montreal Canadiens, and here he is in the Stanley Cup Finals.
The penalties coming up here or not? Fraser's been over to the box now the second time. Talk to the scorekeeper. Thought Maley and McCowan were heading for the box, but maybe not.
Canadiens' shot total has gone up to 18. They have been held to just 3 shots on goal for a good portion of this second period. Now the shots are 20-18 for the game. Brian Skrudland, he's a first-year man. Last year, he too, along with Patrick Roy and a couple of others, were very important in that win by Sherbrooke in the American Hockey League Championship. So they have had playoff pressure, not as much as you find in the National Hockey League, but they've been there playing for a championship. Bobby Bartel pushing it ahead. Skrudland takes it back for Montreal. Lead for Lemieux is just a little too far. Vernon clears it into the crowd, taking no chances. Baxter and Lemieux square off momentarily, and things settle down. Claude Lemieux, what a goal he scored in Game 7 of the Adams Division Final in overtime to win the series for the Montreal Canadiens as they beat the Hartford Whalers 2-1. That was some series. The Whalers with a tremendous effort led by the man who's back at our ESPN studios, Mike Liut.
And then, of course, he had the big one against the Rangers in overtime. Game 3. Well, it's interesting when you talk about games, how you come to play for a 7-game series. It's early. They don't mean as much as they do later on. You look back to that Rangers series, Sam, if they could have come up with an effort, a better effort in Game 1 in Montreal, they could very easily have been up 3-1. The one game went into overtime, and they lose it, and they played so well, and of course they won the 4th game.
You just can't discount that one game. You can't give it away.
Every period, every shift, every game counts.
Despite that attitude, or that many people have, that it's a long series, 7-game series. No, if you lose that first one, well, it's not so bad, but it comes back. It comes back to haunt. Ryan Walter and Bozak. Steve Bozak on the face-off with 1:37 to go in the second period.
I think getting back to that Montreal could have been had in that first game in the Forum, as Calgary could have been here tonight so far. A long way to go, though.
Paul Baxter sends it in. Roy plays the boards to the near corner. Picked up by Bobby Smith. Bobby Smith, the #1 player drafted in 1978. Double team, goes down, and Vernon able to clear to Joel Otto. Stopped at the line by Larry Robinson. Smith with a puck, centers. Deflects out to the point. Rick Green has it. Wristed wide of the net to Smith. Centers in front for Ryan Walter. He's tied up in front by Joel Otto. Otto trying to get to the puck. What a play by Walter, one-handing that shot. Vernon is on top of the puck. Bobby Smith is on top of him.
Walter got a good little chip at it. I think Vernon had to get a piece of it. There was a wild scramble out in that slot area. Nobody could get loose, and finally Walter just chopped at it and went right on the net.
Great hustle by Ryan Walter.
Let's look at the tie-up. There's Naslund. He's all tied up with Baxter, and then Walter comes back, realizes there's Otto loses his stick, and yes, Vernon did get a little piece of that. Time ticking away here, period number 2. Both these periods have taken about an hour to play. They've been very slow.
Stay with us between periods. Tom Mees and Mike Liut give you their assessment of the game. We'll watch it back in the studios at ESPN. And we'll have a feature look at how they got here on the Montreal Canadiens. Mickey and I will check back with you prior to the start of period number 3. Jim Poplinski dumping it out. Ludwig takes it back. Nyland tapping it ahead, but Neil Sheehy is able to clear the zone one more time. Ludwig knocked down in center. Chelios back forward with half a minute to play in the second period. 2-1, Calgary leading all the scoring in the first period. Naslund for Montreal gave the Canadiens a 1-0 lead. That shot is kicked away by Vernon. And goals by John Tonelli and Jim Poplinski. Poplinski's goal in the final minute of the first period. Disputed by the Canadiens. They felt he had to stick above the shoulder on a deflection. 5 seconds to go in the second period. Chelios lifts it in, and that will do it. Chelios got dumped by Poplinski, and Ludwig goes at Poplinski, who punches Ludwig. And we've got something going on. As you watch Roy skating off, we've got a battle going on in front of the Calgary bench. And Roy will settle down. There you have it.
Poplinski really took after Chelios after he dumped the puck in. And then Ludwig came in. Chelios was on his rear end in front of the bench.
And I think you can bet there will be penalties here as the battles continue. There's Hunter.
Who's Hunter and Nyland?
Yeah.
Again? Yeah, well, they've got the gloves off. The period is over. And now they'll try to get this mess straightened out.
Now, Poplinski dumped Chris Chelios. Ludwig, after the horn sounded ending the period, came in taking exception, and there they are, squared off. Poplinski threw at least one punch at Ludwig, and they grappled a little more. And we've got some more action. Fatiou and Nyland challenging one another.
Well,
and it continues.
This is very close to erupting, I'll tell you right now. Very, very close. This could go.
Risebrow's going after Chelios. He thinks Chelios pulled him down.
He was dumped.
Poplinski's got a hold of Carbonneau. Reinhardt and Daney are squared off. They're just holding one another away. Now Ludwig and Sheehy have got a hold of one another.
You know what they ought to do in a situation like this is just start the clock for the 18-20-minute period and let them have less of a rest if they want to fool around like this.
Good idea.
It's such a big waste of time. All this pushing and shoving. They're going to fight. Go ahead and fight and get it over with and go to the box and let's play hockey.
All right. Things are starting to calm down, and Kerry Fraser will no doubt assess some penalties, perhaps some stiff ones here, in order to regain control. Shots on goal in the second period. Calgary 7, Montreal 9. No scoring in that second period. Each goaltender remaining sharp on some tough shots in that second period. Things settle down. We will sort out the penalties for you here at the Olympic Saddle Dome. End of 2, game 1
for the most part.
Skrudland, McPhee, and Lemieux open up for Montreal. Risebrow, Patterson, and McDonald for Calgary. Baxter drops it off for Robin Bartel, and now it's Colin Patterson. Risebrow couldn't control it. McPhee has it. Firing it off the boards. Back forward is Bartel. To the near side, McPhee after it. Lanny McDonald pushes it ahead, and Risebrow able to take it out of the zone. He's bumped by Lemieux, and Skrudland sends it back in for Montreal. Paul Baxter. Fired out by Patterson. This is Doug Risebrow with Green racing back to check him. That shot is off the glove. All the way out to center ice where Neil Sheehy plays it. Stopped by Larry Robinson. Fires it up the middle for Claude Lemieux. He's onside. Lemieux gains control. Tries to center. Good play by Sheehy tying up Mike McPhee. Or rather Bobby Smith, who was looking for a shot. Otto sends it in the Montreal zone. Penalty called.
Yeah,
that's on Steve Bozek for cross-checking. He knocked down Lawler as Bozek tried to get to the puck. 18:56 to go, third period. Steve Bozek 2 minutes for cross-checking at 1:04, and Montreal goes on its 5th power play of the game. They're 1 for 4. Scored on the first one. That's Naslund getting the goal.
There's Lawler going in to get that puck off the boards, and there's the cross-check. Not much question about it at all. He really flattened Lawler into the boards. See what Canadiens can do.
Lube gets to the puck. Decides to kill off some time. Gives it to Al McInnes. Round it comes. Wow. Robinson, Chelios, Smith, Walter, and Naslund on for Montreal. Risebrough, Lube, McInnes, and McCown on for Calgary. Robinson gets his way into the Calgary zone. Actually tripped over his own man, Mats Naslund. Pushed Naslund offside.
Got to get going 5 as a unit. They can't have people standing still. Naslund tried to use a little pick at the blue line. Did not work. They've got to get going 5 abreast and get some speed up if they want to catch the Flames up at the blue line, or they've got to force the Flames to back in.
Early opportunity here in the third period for Montreal to tie the game, but the Flames penalty killing. Very effective here. Robinson with a puck. Lead for Bobby Smith. Nice play by Smith. Good move. Smith comes in, try to center. Good play by Al McInnes. McInnes has had an outstanding game.
I don't know what Smith tried to do there. He was standing there with 2 Flames. He just handed it right to Al McInnes.
5 to go, and the penalty to Steve Bozek. 2 minutes gone by, third period. 2-1 Calgary. Off the stick of Naslund, and McCown clears to center where Chelios stops it. Taken away by Dan Quinn, who shoots. He scores! It's a shorthanded goal for Dan Quinn.
Well, I tell you, the Canadiens just doing absolutely nothing with the man advantage. They were standing around. There's a bad pass by Chelios, and Quinn goes in, lets a 30-footer go, far corner, and beats Roy. And it's 3-1 Calgary.
8th goal of the playoffs for Dan Quinn.
Right.
What a goal that is for Calgary here.
If it's in the Canadiens, Sam, you watch them now. They will open this hockey game up, and people will wonder why don't they play like that all the time.
We'll see. What's the answer?
Who knows?
45 seconds to go, and the penalty to Steve Bozek. Move to Risebrough. Risebrough against Rick Green just dumps it in. Still a 5-on-4-man advantage for the Montreal Canadiens. Stéphane Richer on the rush. Lines around it, stopped by Vernon. Plays the glass. Chelios moving it ahead to Ryan Walter. Checked by Jamie McCown, who works it free to Risebrough. He's tied up with Sheldali, number 20. And it's cleared by McCown. No, blocked by Chelios. Centers for Richer. Richer has the puck. 12 seconds to go. The Montreal power play. Green to Chelios. Risky toward the net wide. Richer has the puck. Back for Rick Green. Now to Chelios again. Checked by Risebrough. On to Green. Power play is over. Bozek is back. And the puck slides out to Bozek. 2-on-1 with Hook and Lube. Now a 3-on-1. Bozek holds for Lube. It's blocked by Green. He waited too long. Lube behind the net. Lost it to Chelios. Around it comes to Ryan Walter. Trying to clear it out of the zone. Does. There's a collision between Quinn and Walter as the puck comes down for an icing. Sticks are up as Quinn went at Ryan Walter with the stick. 16:31 to go, third period. Flames 3, Canadiens 1.
We're back at the Saddle Dome, and that collision along the boards that got Quinn so upset. Ryan Walter really knocked his helmet off. Quinn got very upset about it. Here's the 3-on-1 that was broken up by Green right there. Good defensive play. Bozek unable to get it through. And in the ensuing play in the corner, Walter and Quinn tangled, and they finally get them broken up.
Poplinski looking for the puck, kicks it to Fatia. Comes to McDonald. He scores!
Look out now.
And the Flames are breaking it open. Lenny McDonald with his 10th playoff goal.
Right off the faceoff, the loose puck. And again, the Canadiens just a little unsure of themselves. They're looking at each other like it's one of those I got it, you take it plays, and don't you know it ends up right on McDonald's stick. Patillo handles it, Poplinski, and there's Lanny right there. Boom. 4-1 Calgary.
In comes Gainey. Waits for help. The whistle. Slow whistle. Now we've got a couple of players challenging one another again. Reinhardt is there. The announcement of the goal for Lanny McDonald, his 10th of the playoffs. Here it is again.
Watch everybody just separate there. There's Gainey out the top. He touched it a little bit. And there's no defense there. Gordick is there. He gets back a little bit too late.
Good play by Jim Poplinski, though, as he was tied up in the circle, able to kick it free, and then with Patillo, swiped the puck over to Lanny McDonald.
Lanny King McDonald. 6.5 years with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
As Lanny said at the end of the St. Louis series, maybe that beard will grow longer and longer. But I'll tell you something, he'll be happy to get that beard wet with champagne. The Flames can drink from the Stanley Cup. This is game 1 of the best-of-7 series, and the Flames with 2 early goals here in the third period, now lead 4-1. 80 kicked away by Vernon. Stanley firing it out of the zone. It's all the way down. This will be a nice one on Calgary. 6:02 to go in the third period. And Jean Perron can't be happy with the way things have gone. His assistant is Jacques Laperriere.
And you pointed out, Sam, that only one other time is the Canadiens and Patrick Roy given up 4 goals. That was against the Hartford Whalers, and here again, that same score, 4-1. Montreal has just played. They've not played well. They've played a very poor hockey game from what they've been used to playing. It looked like they were on a pretty good roll.
We go back to that long layoff, taking away some of the game sharpness of the Canadiens, with the Flames still riding high on emotion. They were slow starting in the game, but once they got into it, once they got those goals, the goal by Tonelli, a big one to get them started.
They're all just unsure. They just seem unsure of themselves, and they're kind of looking to each other to do it. And you can't win hockey games by doing it better.
Green stopping the puck. Ahead for McPhee. It's past him. Back behind the net. Screwed them. Couldn't play it. Bartel getting it ahead of Colin Patterson. Worked out of the zone by Risebrough. And Doug Risebrough's had a solid game for the Calgary Flames against the team he once played for. Montreal Canadiens stopped at the line by Robinson. Trying to get free. That shot by Green deflected wide of the net. And Baxter has it. Up the boards. Mike McPhee stops it. Around to Claude Lemieux. Centers off the stick of Vernon. There's Lanny McDonald, the player. And he clears it out. Green to Robinson, gets it back. Hip check by Lanny McDonald. Green goes down. In comes Joel Otto. Otto centers all the way through. Bozek goes to the puck. Ball's down. And Naslund sends to Claude Lemieux. Past him, and McCown's pass hit his partner Al McInnes. Jamie McCown, the lead for Bozek off his stick. Center ice, McInnes plays it. Taking the Montreal in. Robinson checked by Lou. Icing call. Icing is the call. It was sent in from the Calgary side of the Red. The goals for Calgary here in this third period. Quinn unassisted, a shorthanded goal at 2:14. McDonald, his 10th of the playoffs from Patillo and Poplinski at 3:33. Less than a minute and a half after the Quinn goal. And the 4 goals equaling the most that Patrick Roy has allowed in any one game in the playoffs. This is the 16th game he's playing. Hartford got 4 on him in one game in the Adams Division final. Hartford won 4-1. Past Vernon, it goes around on the near side. Otto clears it out. Game 2 Wednesday is Sunday night here at the Olympic Saddle Dome. It'll be on the air at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Games 3 and 4 Tuesday and Thursday in Montreal. That shot by McCown, stopped by Roy. Out comes Naslund. Vernon stopping it for McInnes up the boards. Chelios intercepts. Slides it beyond the goal line. Jamie McCown plays it. He's tied up by Bobby Smith. Lou gave it away to Naslund. Naslund tied up, ridden down by Poplinski.
Penalty
called.
Yep.
Canadiens will have their 6th power play chance of the game. 13:44 to go in the 3rd period. The penalty comes at 6:16.
Well, the one thing they don't want to do, Sam, is let the Canadiens back into it. They've got a 3-goal lead. Poplinski, almost a good penalty for him to take, as Naslund was in by himself almost on Vernon.
Poplinski for holding. Canadiens are 1 for 5 on the power play. They have failed on their last 4, and the last one, of course, devastating, with Quinn coming up with a shorthanded goal. Naslund. Chelios. Ryan Walter along the boards, wants it to Paul Lemieux. Lemieux looking, trying to get it in front. He's checked by Sheehy, works it into the corner to Naslund. Robinson, one times it, save Vernon. Bounced off his chest, he gloves it, he holds it. 13:18 to go, 3rd period. Jim Kelly is standing by. Jim, what's going on?
Well, we'll all be standing by, Samuel.
Those banners will not help them right now by any means. You just don't. You can't throw your stick out in the ice to expect to win hockey games, and that's exactly what the Canadiens did tonight here so far. They have not put forth a very good effort. They've stood around. They've not been in the game mentally at all, and as a result, the Flames are taking it to them pretty well all over the ice.
Otto and Walter on the draw.
Well, the effort seems to have been there, Sam. It's not a physical thing. It's mostly mental. The Canadiens just haven't been in the game.
I agree with you. McInnes plays it off the boards to himself and then drives it out of the zone.
Back in this game, they've got to score right here in this power play.
Across comes Bobby Smith. Knocked away. Comes to Robinson. Save Vernon. And Lube has the rebound.
Oh, that caught him high in the right arm.
Lube able to clear it out to center. Chelios takes it back. Now to Naslund. Canadiens trying to find a way in with 1 minute to go on the power play. Good poke check by Jamie McCown. Naslund in the corner. Controls the puck. Back pass to Chelios, on to Robinson. Chelios. Naslund takes it off the boards. Checked by McCown. The defense pairing of McCown and McInnes have been simply outstanding tonight for Calgary. Naslund along the boards. Winds it to Smith. Checked by McCown. Smith goes down. They're looking for the puck. Gary Fraser blows the whistle, stopping play. Risebrow. Get up and go after someone. 28 seconds to go. Penalty to Jim Poplinski and 12-12 to go in the 3rd period. The captain of the Calgary Flames, the veteran Doug Risebrow, with one more chance to go after a Stanley Cup. He was with Montreal in the 70s when they won 4 straight from 76 through 79.
When you look back on those teams, Risebrow, of course, the one that's gone. He was on the 4. Robinson's been on 5 Stanley Cups. Gainey on 4. And Mario Tremblay, who was injured and not able to play the rest of the year, now up in the broadcast booth on the French network for Montreal. He was on those 4 Stanley Cups as well.
Great tradition of the Montreal Canadiens being challenged by the first-time finalists, the Calgary Flames, who were born in Atlanta in 1972, moved to Calgary in 1980. Five-on-4-man advantage for the Canadiens. Ryan Walter set to take the face-off against Joel Otto. Joel Otto is a one tough player. Sees a lot of ice time. Good face-off man, strong player. Richer has it knocked away by Colin Patterson. Otto was just out to take that face-off in the defensive zone, went to the bench after winning it. 5 seconds to go on the power play. Stolen by Bozak. Bozak comes in, and he shoots wide. It was deflected. The teams are back at full strength, and the Flames have killed off the last 5 power play opportunities by the Montreal Canadiens. Robinson has the puck, 11.5 minutes to go. 3rd period. Sheldon comes in. Poke checked away from him. On comes Dan Quinn. Lead to Tonelli. Back to Quinn. checked by Deline. He leaves it there for Robin Bartel, who backhands it ahead. Ludwig sends it around the boards to Brian Skrudland. And out comes Greg Ludwig. He's bucked behind the net. Baxter plays it into the corner. Deline trying to avoid the check of Tonelli. Quinn just clears it out. Deline jumped away when he saw a white jersey coming. 10:55 to go in the third period. Lanny McDonald, great play to take the puck away. Fires toward the net. It was stopped by Roy. Ludwig almost screened his own goaltender. Roy was able to drop down and stop it, but the fans love it as Calgary maintains the 4-1 lead. Jim Kelly standing by. What's coming up, Jim?
I don't know what's coming up, Sam. I don't know what I've got. This is Superfan Sean. They didn't have a battery problem here. What is that chant that you guys are doing against Roy?
That's the Roy Hex. And judging from the score, 4-1, it's working. It's getting them psyched out. That side of the rink, they like to call it the Leroy Hex. This side calls it the Roy Hex.
Tell you what, pull back just a little bit. You've got to see this outfit from head to toe. Don't go away, Sean. I want to show this. Can I ask you a question? Where do you get your suit? Sam, this looks like your son's bar mitzvah.
Cleared out by Guy Carbonneau. 10:35 to go. That man has a lot of guts to wear that. Halloween coming early in Calgary. Reinhardt giving it away to Carbonneau. Guy Carbonneau has been very quiet tonight. Really hasn't been a big factor at all.
Very few of the Canadians have, but especially, you're right, Carbonneau, who's always really stuck out in a lot of the games. He blocked a couple of shots early in a Flames power play by McInnes, but other than that, the Canadians as a whole have been very quiet. Robinson has had some offensive chances, but it's not been a good night for the Canadians.
Immediately following tonight's game, Sports Center could win on everything that happened in sports today and tonight. We'll look at all the baseball scores, NBA playoffs, highlights of this game, golf, tennis, and much, much more. Sports Center immediately following Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Houston putting the Twin Towers to work on LA, beat them one time at home, and is everybody expecting the Celtics and the Lakers to be in the finals?
And you know how tough Houston is on their home court. 36-5 in the regular season. Puck coming all the way down. This will be an icing. They can hold the home court advantage. They'd have the Lakers on the ropes. Right here, Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Bob Johnson. What a job he's done in taking his Flames to the finals. Man, tremendous experience. 3 championships at the University of Wisconsin. Coached the U.S. Olympic team, U.S. national teams. The job he's done with Calgary, bringing his Flames through that Edmonton series. What a memorable series. That will always stand out as one of the top series.
Whether they win the Stanley Cup or not. He admitted this morning, he said, you know, we like to coach off the ice. We really had very, very little time, 24 hours actually, to prepare for Montreal. And I think for that reason, he wanted to keep this game a very slow pace tonight. They've managed to do that. Maybe it's not all their work that they've kept it slow, because Montreal has just not come out of the gate, but it was to their advantage to play very tight, a lot of whistles, a lot of face-offs.
When they got the lead with Poplinski getting that goal late in the first period on the deflection at 1911, the second period was very key. They were very strong defensively, shut down every Montreal opportunity. Held them to 3 shots on goal for a large portion of that period. Joel Otto picks up the puck and comes in. Naslund goes over to check him. Otto in the corner, works it around the boards. Naslund goes down. Just couldn't play the bigger and stronger Joel Otto. Otto works it free, trying to work his way in front. Now it's Lube in the corner, hit by Chelios. Otto comes out in front. Knocked away by Bobby Smith. Otto again. Back to McCown. The shot. Save Roy. Rebound played by Green as Otto was knocked down by Chelios. And Montreal got away with one there. Otto was cross-checked by Chris Chelios in front. Maley comes in, sending it side of the net. McCown picks it up. Now it's McInnes. Works it ahead for Bozek. And able to roll it out of the zone where Lube comes down with McInnes on the right side. Drop for McInnes. Has room to shoot. Wide. Lou in the corner. Risebrow. His bat deflects up into the air. And the bouncing puck is played by Chelios. Colin Patterson all over him. Bobby Smith takes it down. 8:50 to go. Third period. 4-1 Calgary. A whistle stops play. Offside was called. We're at the Olympic Saddle Dome with 8:49 to go.
Look at big Joel Otto. What a great bit of work he did, Sam, back here. You pointed out Nazem unable to play the side. Look at him use the body right there. And after this play happened, he got out in front. He had the left arm out, blocking off the Canadiens players. He handled the puck, finally got it back to the point. They got a shot on goal. Big, strong player.
Yes, he is. From Minnesota. Played his collegiate hockey, as Mickey told you earlier, at Division II school, Bemidji State. Was signed as a free agent last year by the Calgary Flames. Claude Lemieux tied up by Colin Patterson. Robin Bartel, number 15 for Calgary, battling with Brian Skrudland. Bartel works it free. Another punch by Bob Johnson, playing Robin Bartel, a rookie. He played part of this year in Switzerland in the second half of the year at Moncton in the American Hockey League.
He's not afraid to change that lineup. He's going to put youngsters in there.
Coming down to 8 minutes left in the third period. Bartel, exactly 8 minutes to go. Plays it around to Joe Mullen. And a whistle stops play as Lemieux knocked down Dan Quinn. Gary Fraser gets in the middle to try and settle things down. Here's Robin Bartel. Take a look at what happened along the boards.
Quinn and Ludwig. Bang. Scott, what do you do?
Two-line pass was whistled against the Flames, bringing it back for a face-off. They're wearing everything here in Calgary.
See a couple of guys around here with those great big colored mustaches? Lanny McDonald fan club. No, I think when you talk about the Canadiens being off for 6 days, Sam, they just seem to have lost their edge. Yeah. As much as the rest can help when you get a guy like Walter back in your lineup and what have you, but well, there's nothing like that competition of game competition. Even though the Flames have gone through 7 games and come back 48 hours after the St. Louis series.
And look at the power play opportunities they've allowed to get by. 6 chances. Scoring on the first one. They've failed to click on the last 5 and given up a shorthanded goal. Tonelli works his way in, drops it off. It was deflected away from Joey Mullen. Pete Carbonneau comes out. Carbonneau again picks up the puck and comes in with Gainey trailing. Comes to Gainey for a shot. It's wide. Chelios drives one wide. From the near side and all the way out it goes. Game 2 Sunday night. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Right here on ESPN. Sheehy, bumped by Gainey. Chelios centers. It went wide on the shot by Keith Carbonneau. Walter gets it to Chelios. Carbonneau's in front again. It's centered off the stick of Bozak. And Bozak's able to clear it out. Rick Green is back for it. Just under 7 minutes to go in the third period. Chelios couldn't control. Bozak sends it into Montreal zone. Lube will get to the puck. Lube looking in front. Rick Green is on him. Lube still with the puck. Risebrow set up in the slot. The wrist shot is gloved by Roy. Drops it off to Rick Green. Down to Naslund. Naslund has the only goal for Montreal. It was the first goal of the game. Power play goal. Taken away by Risebrow. He comes in and shoots. Save Roy. The rebound knocked away from Patterson. Robinson has it. Sending it out. Bobby Smith trying to get around Al McInnes. It's cleared out by Lanny McDonald. Another outstanding defensive effort by the Calgary Flames. Played great defense in Game 7 on Wednesday night against the St. Louis Blues, shutting them out until 2 minutes remained in the game. 2-1, taking the series in 7. And here, even strength. They've 5:46 to go. Third period of hometown fans. As they look to get the jump on the Montreal Canadiens here in the championship series. Vernon. He's been there when they've needed him.
Sure has.
Montreal really hasn't had sustained pressure on him.
From here and there, but they have had some great opportunities. Now, penalty being called on the play. And it'll be Calgary, I believe. I thought it might have been
Ludwig.
Ludwig.
Like a Montreal penalty.
Well, Ludwig really fired an elbow at Kaplinski. Goodland with lots to say. It looks like Montreal.
Goodland's going.
Yep.
So the Flames, who have the 4-1 lead, will get their third power play opportunity of the game, their first one since the first period.
Well, it's just not the night to be for the Canadiens at all. You talk about Carbonneau being inconspicuous. You haven't seen much of Lemieux, you know. I sit here and listen to you do the play-by-play, and, you know, when you hear guys' names that they're playing well, they keep coming through my ear all the time, and you're right. You just haven't heard much of Carbonneau. You haven't heard much of Lemieux. You haven't heard much of Bobby Smith, even Naslund. He had the one goal, but that's been about it. They've really been very, very quiet on the offense. And they haven't done so well on the defense either. They stood around a lot in their own zone.
Tim Hunter, you had a look at him. He's still sitting out the 15 minutes for that fight with Nyland at the end of the second period. 5 minutes for fighting, 10 minutes misconduct. Nyland and Hunter spent the third period in the penalty box. Dan Quinn on the power play. Al McInnes. Paul Reinhart with room. Try to get it across to Quinn. That's what Calgary likes to do. 2-on-2 coming down. Carbonneau dropped to Gainey. Gainey's shot deflected by McInnes. Quinn and Carbonneau in the corner. Now it's McInnes to play it. With half a minute gone by on the power play. Just under 5 minutes to go in the third period. Flames leading 4-1. Reinhart, Otto, Quinn, McInnes, and Mullen on. This is Joe Mullen with a puck. Back pass to Reinhart. Now McInnes. Reinhart to Quinn. Mullen slides into the slot. It went off his stick. Cutter off the board. So look for that man cutting off the board.
They like to use Quinn on that right in the face-off circle to the right on his off wing. He scored quite a few goals in the playoffs like that.
Reinhart coming in, gets it to Mullen. Wow, plays it up off the glass. Gainey tries to clear and gets it out to center. 45 seconds to go in the power play for Calgary. McInnes. Steve Bozek. Bozek across the line. Beat it to Nelly. Back pass to Mullen. Down to McInnes. Moves the puck around well. Reinhart to McInnes. On to Bozek. Pinelli trying to set up in front. Is wrapped up, his stick being held. He battles with Lawler. It slides through. Reinhart with the puck. Checked by McPhee. 15 seconds to go in the power play. Bozek. Cross ice for Pinelli, deflected by Lawler. Pinelli with Lawler on him. Taken away by Ryan Walter, who clears. And that'll do it for the power play for Calgary. 3.5 minutes to go. Third period. Flames leading 4-1. Bobby Smith. Checked by Risebrow. And McCown able to clear it out to Pinelli. Try to lead Risebrow. He was hooked by Bobby Smith. To stop.
Flames are not going to press too much now. They're just going to sit back and relax. Dump it out of their own zone. They don't need any more.
Smith across the line. Poke checked away. Offside, Montreal. Don't forget, immediately following tonight's game, Sports Center with a full wrap-up on the day's doings in the world of sports.
And the Canadiens will have to go home here in Calgary. They're home in Calgary. And regroup, but try to get their heads together after this one. That's been a good night for most of the Canadiens by any means. You know, Patrick Roy has looked a little shaky at times. He just
I wondered on that goal by Quinn. I know it's a short-handed goal, but I thought he had the angle played. One that he should have had from long range.
Some shots that he's handled and didn't allow goals that he just looked shaky on. But
first two goals you really can't fault him on. One was the rebound by Tonelli. The other one, the deflection by Poplinski.
Right, exactly. He stopped the breakaway by Lube as well. Sunday night, we will see the Canadiens get back together. I'm sure that they'll come with a much, much better effort. You can bet on it.
2:50 to go in the game. McCown. Wristed into the slot off the stick of Lou. Lou bumped by Ludwig. Lou's really hustling in the corner. Fine play by Lou to win the puck. Back to Sheehy. A shot. That hit break Ludwig. McCown back to break up the play. Naslund went down. McCown to Otto. On to Bozak. Lou on the right wing. Gets the pass. And shoots. It deflected off Lawler. Knocked away by Roy. Out come Mats Naslund. He meets Jamie McCown, who stops him. Naslund drops it along the board for Chelios. In deep for Bailey. Now Chelios, he scores! Nice play by Chris Chelios. With a give and go with Dave Maley. And with 2:04 to go in the third period, it's now 4-2.
Chelios just kept coming up the right side. Little Naslund dumped it off to him. And here's the give and go. Chelios to Maley, and he keeps going to the front of the net. Two Flames converge on Maley. A little bit of a deke and right between the pads. Now Vernon, he got a piece of that one as well, as he did on the first goal by Naslund. But it gets by him. 2:04 to go. And I don't think the Canadiens really, the way they played, have a chance to get back in this. But funnier things have happened in this game too.
Yeah. The Flames will tell you about it when it happened to them against St. Louis.
A minute 8 to go. Kozlowski scored. Right in the game. They trailed 4-1 and 5-2 in the game. In fact, the Blues, you know, they won it in overtime by a goal by Wickenheiser.
For Chris Chelios, his second goal of the playoffs. Time of the goal is 17:56. Dave Maley and Mats Naslund getting the assists. Robinson to Lawler. Less than 2 minutes to go. Roy is checking the bench to see if John Perron wants him to come off for an extra skater. Linsky just batting it out of the zone. Skrudlin is there to play it. To Lawler. Minute 40 to go. Vernon stops it, looks around. Plays it to Poplinski. Poplinski trying to dump it out. McDonald taps it ahead. Two-line pass. McDonald didn't tap it ahead.
I thought it hit Robinson, actually. Somebody in center ice.
Minute 31 to go. Now Patrick Roy is looking toward the bench for instructions, and Jean Perron is signaling for a timeout. Montreal calling timeout. Roy goes over to the bench. There's the Canadiens. Will have the face-off just inside the Calgary blue line, and discussing how they'll play it.
Well, they might as well, if they get a chance, they might as well get them out. I mean, you lose 5-2, 4-2, it doesn't make any difference.
Right.
Get them out of there and get that extra skater on and see if you can't get a quick one and take it from there.
Sports Center follows this game.
Another look at the second Canadiens goal. The two Flames defensemen there. They drop in deep, and there's Chelios and the give and go from Maley. Make it 4-2.
He warded off that check along the boards by McCown and just kept heading for the net. Patrick Roy.
Not used to this situation, is he?
No, hasn't found himself trailing in too many games. 11-4 in the playoffs this year. And
1.77 goals against coming into tonight.
his save percentage was .929 coming into tonight's game.
He'll go back in probably. If they're going to pull him out, Sam, they'll wait. I suppose he'll play part way.
He's back at the top of the circles, high in the slot, ready to head for the bench.
He can get control, dump it in back of the Calgary net. Put everybody up.
It's cleared out by Colin Patterson. And Roy slides back into his crease. Chelios with a puck check by Bozak. Gets it to Robinson. Now Bobby Smith on the Gainey. And Roy heads for the bench. Extra skater is on for Montreal. Canadiens' goal is empty as the puck rolls into center. Patterson trying to beat Robinson to it. Lemieux picks it up. 1:05 to go in the third period. Gainey fires it in. McInnes plays it. 1 minute to go. The puck is sent down the ice, and Chelios will have to go back for it. 4-2 Calgary. Lemieux couldn't play it. Montreal net is empty. Chelios gets it across to Robinson. 45 seconds to go. Now Claude Lemieux gets by Risebrow. McCown trying to break up the play. Does. Smith takes the puck. 3 men in front, 4 men in front for Montreal. Now Naslund goes over to the boards to try and help out as McCown wrestles down Smith. Puck is dumped out. Risebrow comes ahead with McDonald. Risebrow Scored.
Do it. Lucky Risebrough, the two veterans, Risebrough and McDonald, break down with nobody in the goal. And with just 25 seconds to go, it's all Flames. Game number 1 belongs to the Calgary team. There's the veteran Risebrough, the captain. And with this game being finally decided, Sam, our Hartford Insurance player of the game as we watch Risebrough break down.
Is the man who sent the puck out to Doug Risebrough, Jim Pawlinski, with a goal and 2 assists.
Big Jim Pawlinski. Second goal really was a big one. Late in the period, the first period, and put the Flames up 2-1. Our Hartford Insurance player of the game, and of course the big assist on McDonald's goal that really put it away, the 4th goal. And we'll adjourn to Sunday night.
Yes, sir. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Be with us for game 2. Sports Center is coming up. Full wrap-up of the day in sports immediately following tonight's game. Games 3 and 4 in Montreal, Tuesday and Thursday nights. Start times of both games, 7:30 Eastern time. Ken Wilson and Bill Clement will bring you the action from the Forum in Montreal. Doug Risebrough, the veteran, boy, is he enjoying this. Another chance to go for the Stanley Cup.
Don't you know it would be awfully sweet for Risebrough, of course, to win that Stanley Cup against the team that he won for with originally.
The team that traded him.
Yeah, a little extra.
Him away.
But the Calgary Flames are a long way from the Stanley Cup. One game is only one game, and that's it. They're still going to win 4 from the Canadiens, and well, you know they are going to come back in here Sunday night and put up a much, much better effort.
Robin Bartel. Mullen tries to clear it out. Bartel takes it out. The fans count off the final seconds. The Calgary Flames, with Mike Vernon in goal, have won game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And they lead the series 1-0 as they win it 5-2.
Huck and Lubu had a pretty strong hockey game as well. Little Mike Vernon now. So congratulations to the rest of his guys. And as you pointed out, Sam, in the 3rd period, the Canadiens did not test him strongly. 24 shots on goal. But they had 3 or 4 at crucial times in the hockey game when it was 1-1 and 2-1 that Vernon did come up big. One I recall, Naslin's shot and the rebound on Deline, and a couple of shots by Larry Robinson. So the little guy does it again for the Calgary Flames.
Pawlinski was our player of the game, but outstanding defensive work by the Calgary Flames. The effort of McInnes and McCown on the back.